Okay.
So who's the host?
Hello.
Hello
okay,
and
well,
welcome to the World 9 podcast.
World 9. Wait, I thought we were World 8. What the
World-
fuck did
World
where did
World
nine
8
come from?
podcast.
Cut that.
Jamie, cut
Is
that.
this
We actually
explained
gonna have
correctly?
someone editing this, cause have fun.
Nah, this is going in unedited, right?
Yeah, this is going
Going
on.
We'll
in
do it in
raw.
raw.
Raw and wriggling.
All right, so not only did we get
Yeah,
our
raw.
own name incorrectly, but are we allowed to curse on this? Is this kid friendly?
Yeah.
We don't have any
What
advertisers, so...
Kids are going to be listening to this. Be
I
real.
mean, what if
No.
Matt's
Yeah, we're
daughter?
not talking about
listens in?
Roblox, right?
A few
So-
adults are going to listen to this.
We put this podcast in a box and then have Josephine come back like 15 years, unearthed and uncensored.
She's gonna ask Matt, like, who you hanged out with, and she's gonna listen to this podcast and be like, wow, your friends were boring.
You know,
Well, she's not going to be allowed to listen to this because it's not from the 90s, and Matt's not going to allow her to do anything that
Matt-
was after
Matt
the
is a-
90s.
That is a perfect transition to the topics that Matt prepared for everyone tonight. No, Matt.
I like how we're just starting off with
Um,
roasting Matt when he's like not even talking on this.
He
Yeah,
can't
he
talk.
Can't defend himself.
Yeah,
No
he
better
can't defend
opportunity.
himself.
Vanna, would
Alright,
you
Brian,
reveal
kick
the
it
night's
off.
first clue?
The overarching topic is about childhood and nostalgia type stuff. So, I don't know. A lot of times we'll just be thinking about, things we did as kids and talking about
The good
video games and things like that. And so, like, the first overarching topic is, I want to talk about some games that you look back on or anything, games, TV, and you look back
And-
on and it's like, suddenly you realize, I actually missed like a bunch of emotional depth. Like that was really messed up and I just didn't think of that when I was a kid. But yeah, I mean, I can kick it off with an example I thought
Well,
of.
Brian, before we kick it off, we're actually going to cut right in with our first paid sponsor, TGIF Fridays. Thank you so much for sponsoring this podcast.
I may have fucked up the name of the place.
TGIF Friday.
TGI,
TGI.
TGI, whatever it is. Whoever wants to kick it off, just start talking and I'll interrupt when I get tired of hearing your voice.
All right, I'll start. I'll get the ball rolling because I kind of came up with this idea. This is like I just think of random things when I'm walking or in the shower, and I was talking with Joni about Sonic Adventure. Has everyone played Sonic Adventure? The
I've
first
never
one?
played a Sonic game.
No.
I've
What?
never played a
Sonic
Sonic game.
Adventure.
Other than
It's one of those
Adventures.
games that should stay in your personal memories and probably not actually re-experience because you're probably going to think of it differently if you actually replayed it.
No, I
Sonic,
was replaying Sonic Adventure
Heroes.
2. I was replaying Sonic Adventure 2 this month, and it honestly is still a fantastic game.
Sonic Adventure 2 is kind of shit, but Sonic Adventure 1 is
They're
where
both
it's at.
they're both pretty good.
That's a hot
I mean,
take.
Sonic Adventure 2
Story-wise?
is a good game.
Story.
I mean, I don't give a
Adventure
shit
2
about I don't give a shit about the story. It's a fun game. I
Am
know
I
the
the only one who
story.
cares about the story of Sonic?
Doing that little hand movement.
I assure you, you're the okay, probably not the only one. The only
My
one
man
here-
Brian probably reads Playboy for the articles. Well, that's what I'm getting from this.
Okay, well, with that in mind, has anyone even played Sonic Adventure 1 to be able to relate to what I'm going to bring up?
The Dreamcast one or the GameCube one?
Either. It's the same game, they just remade it.
I thought they added a few. Anyway, yes, I've
It's
played
the director's cut. The DX is director's cut.
Doesn't
No.
DX technically mean deluxe?
No one's played it? Alright.
All right, and that
That's
goes into
crazy.
crazy.
All right.
Sponsor.
Man, if I just explain it to you, it's not gonna really mean much, but
No, but it's your childhood memories that you're explaining. So any of your valuable childhood memories will be nice to listen to.
I like how
Enlighten us.
you got kind of close to the mic on that one. Phil.
Super.
I brought them.
lovely mic.
I brought the mic up to my mouth.
Wow. All right.
Brian feeling slightly uncomfortable.
Slightly uncomfortable by that. Yeah.
I'm whispering in Brian's
All right.
ears.
So in Sonic, I'll quickly explain the game since I can't believe none of you have played it.
It's
Wow.
Sonic's the blue one, right?
Okay.
That was a joke. That was a fun.
Sonic Adventure, you play through as Sonic, and then you unlock the other characters, right? So you get Tails, you get Amy, you get
Big the
Knuckles,
cat.
you get a few other characters that don't really show up in many other games, like
Big the cat.
Gamma and Big's the cat. Or is it Big the cat?
I do.
don't know.
Big the Cat.
I like Big the Cat. Big the Cat's cool. I would
What do you know about Big
choose
the Cat?
him. Okay, the only Sonic game I've played is Sonic Heroes, the one where you choose like the 3.
Yeah, he's in
God.
Sonic Heroes. He's
God.
on
Yeah.
team whatever with Amy and that other
Is-
person.
Is
Anyway,
Gamma
continue.
in Sonic Heroes? Does anyone know who
Mhm.
Gamma is?
Gamma's not in Sonic Heroes. They replaced him with another robot, but they're basically the same.
Classic.
Okay.
All right, so I'll quickly give the lowdown, and then I'll get off Sonic Adventure because none of you have played it.
I've played it.
The first one?
I've played both of them. I've played all of
Okay,
them.
all right, Richie, this is you and me talking then. So Gamma, do you remember his story?
Yeah,
So
where
he's
he's
like
a robot and
Eggman's robot that's like designed to like kill Sonic, right? And then he, in talking with like Amy, kind of has that like Android 16 kind of grows a sense of empathy and awareness for like living things. And then his storyline is all about killing all the other robots that he considers to be his siblings, which is like it's kind of messed up when you think about it. I don't know. Like he kind of came into being and realizing, what he was and what he was designed for, and kind of what his brethren were designed for. I don't know. It was just something I didn't think about when I first played it, but then like going back to it later was like, oh, that's kind of weird actually, and it's kind of deep for like a kids game like that. I don't know.
yeah, no. I think Sonic Adventure as a whole was a really good game because I mean the overarching story was like when you think about it, right? The Echidna tribe, where what was her name? Tick Hall was from. They basically treated. I like the allegory to me at the time was definitely that Chaos Zero is basically like a nuclear bomb, kind of like that's the allegory.
I was thinking, yeah, I honestly thought of like because there's like a lot of Aztec themes to the game. And it's like Incan, Aztec, yeah, and Chaos is supposed to be like that end of the world. I know I'm saying Mayan here, but like on the Mayan calendar,
I feel
I'm
like
lumping all those together.
my
generic,
perception
Mesoamerican.
Yeah,
my perception as somebody who's not ever touched the Sonic game on like my own terms, I feel like they have very in-depth
He was forced to play
storylines.
Sonic.
Let's review who Sonic is. Sonic's the blue.
you would
Some
be
of the
right about like one of them.
Some of the classic ones did, yeah. Nowadays it's kind of formulaic, but
I mean, even Sonic Adventure 2, like the story of that is just all over the place. Like
I feel like there's just a
Are you
lot of
talking the
lore.
original or the director's cut?
Sonic.
Dude, there is no consistency to Sonic lore, like, at
Yeah.
all.
No,
I think
not at
they
all.
kind of decide what the
No, yeah.
particular setting is going to be, just on the spur of a moment, just, high off their balls in a room, just like, okay, you know what? In this game, humans are going to exist sometimes, but
Right.
only in some world. Like, it makes no sense.
Doesn't
Don't
Sonic
try
have
and
a
rationalize.
girlfriend or something?
Wait, what did you say?
No.
Doesn't Sonic like kiss a human girl in one of the games or something? I could have sworn I saw something like that.
Oh yeah, that one.
And
I
then
think I
she
kind of
turns
pretend that
into
never
Amy.
happened.
So the question I have is Mario a human? Like he doesn't look like
No.
Yeah.
the new
Definitely not.
Donkers.
He's definitely a human.
No, he's not.
No,
he's
he don't.
Italian.
Definitely not. He's Italian.
Is it he like canonically a plumber from Brooklyn? Is that not like his actual origin story?
Yeah, but
I
like
thought-
when you go to New Donk City, those are humans.
That's true. That is, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Didn't
feel
the
like
movie
a lot-
have humans as a separate like universe?
I don't,
The
yeah.
Mario movie?
I don't
can't
know.
remember at this
Is
point.
Mario an isekai actually? Now that I think about it,
He is an isekai canonically in the movie.
Oh god.
I'm sorry. What is an isekai?
He's out of line.
Yeah,
he's right.
What is
Like
it?
isekai is like the trope of like I'm trying to think of
Sword Art Online.
have you heard? Yes, I mean I haven't read Sword Art. I was thinking Flame of Recca.
it's like
Portal
a
Fantasy. That's what I just.
It's
it's like a subgenre where basically a character is transported from their world, which is usually the
Got
quote
it.
unquote real world, into like some fantasy parallel
Digimon.
world.
Yeah. Got it. That makes sense. I
I
guess.
think we've
Well,
dried up the well on Sonic lore.
I was
And
gonna
we've moved on
say,
to something else.
with that being said, is there any other particular unrecognized emotional depth that somebody would like to discuss? I don't think I have too much on this because I have a lot more on
The
like
Sonic Adventure 1
misconceptions
really
stuff.
did have quite a bit of depth, because the whole point, the whole thing about Chaos Zero is that the power hungry leader of the tribe wanted to use the power of chaos to subjugate his enemies, and his daughter was saying no, you can't, this is not something that we should be trifling with. Where chaos is a force of nature, not a weapon. And I mean, it's pretty on the nose about being a nuclear, at least to me, about being a nuclear warhead or something.
Something
Um,
like that, yeah.
so it's not it is a very lighthearted game too, but at the same time, especially the animations, but at the same time, it does have some emotional depth to it.
It's kind of weird. Like, I feel like that's a really hot take. Like, when you say emotional depth and like story in a Sonic game, like everyone's gonna obviously not assume that there's any in a Sonic game, but it's that is the one exception, I'd say. Every other one probably no.
So then here's my follow-up question to this. So at what point is it emotional depth and not just additional story that's read into too much by the player? For example, I'm not saying I disagree with this, but for example, Blues Radicate, is that considered emotional
Ooh, that's a
depth?
good example. I would say yes because
Absolutely.
as seeing how quickly I jump into this because we're talking about Pokemon, but I think that was something that I as a kid couldn't I didn't know what they were really talking about. I kind of just breezed over it, and then as I got older and I kind of relearned that was part of the story, I was like, wait, what? Why would they include something that real and that deep in literally the first and very childish game of
I mean,
Pokemon?
technically it's not official, but
It's
maybe.
referenced, but yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
But actually,
it's
even
alluded to, maybe.
it's alluded to, but even more directly, the Marowak.
I
The
was just
Marowak
about to
Okay.
bring that up.
dying is very explicit and it's very in your face, and they've confirmed that over time. Where the Marowak is straight up dead. Obviously, it's a ghost, but and they have directly confirmed that Team Rocket killed it. But that's another one that literally ties in right then and there in Lavender Town. You're literally freeing the ghost of a mother of, and the whole idea of Cubone is that it is a child left behind by a deceased
Yeah.
mother.
So right here, the Pokedex entry for Cubone from
Oh,
Pokemon Yellow.
good call.
Where's the skull of its deceased mother?
Mhm.
It cries echo inside the skull and comes out as a sad melody. Like, holy crap.
It's sad melody. Yeah, that's really hard.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit,
and it's
like-
so cute. It's so cute, and it's so sad that it has such a. There's a lot of Pokédex entries to this day, even with a lot of newer Pokemon that are really morbid.
Are we
Lonely
talking about how
Pokemon.
Drifloon abducts children?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
There's a lot of-
Drifloon was the end of a generation of we're gonna kind of slide in some weird
What do
dark
you think?
stuff.
Are you saying Drifloon is the last I don't know, child kidnapper Pokemon?
Yeah, Hypno.
It's the last
Hypno
one
is
that
the
I feel
first.
like would
Hypno
need to
is
be
the first
censored.
and Drifloon is the second.
Can we try to figure out what the subcategory is of child kidnapper Pokemon? How many exist and when did they stop being made, if at all?
Hypno.
I mean, Hypno is the president of the
The
club.
president isn't
Oh, yeah,
Kadabra
he's the
a
kidnapper
child
one,
that
yeah.
got?
Yeah, isn't Shedinja, if you look into the hole in his back, it, absorbs your soul or something?
No.
Yeah, but she didn't
That's
just an
the
equal
Shadow
opportunity.
Realm. You don't die.
She didn't just an equal opportunity molester.
So
He
this
wasn't
needs
only-
to explicit. So you're saying this explicitly needs to go after children?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, frankly, look. I think in universe this can be explained by the fact that all the professors have a bunch of 10-year-olds to do all the research for them. By extension, if there's a disproportionate number of 10-year-olds out there in the wild, a bunch of stuff is going to happen to them more disproportionately than, if an actual adult, for example, were to go out and do research.
Right.
I mean,
Oh
though
wow,
I
yeah,
think
it
it's
is believed that this Pokemon will steal the spirit of anyone peering into its hollow body from its back. That really goes hard. That
It
goes
goes kind of hard.
really, really hard. That's awesome.
I need to look at Hypno now.
it's pulled
But
from
anyway,
Deck
just
entries.
kind of like going back to Kevin's original point while we're looking at these, the whole idea of Pokemon Tower, I feel like was lost on me as a kid. That
Hmm.
like
Yeah,
it's actually just a
it's a
burial
graveyard.
ground, it's a mausoleum,
Yeah, a
right?
mausoleum. Yes, thank
It
you.
was just dead Pokemon all over there. That's
Yeah.
and I guess in lore they become ghastly, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
give or take, but also too like this goes like a lot of people have like these debates of like, oh, it's a children's game. Like, why are they like why is Nintendo allowing this? But Japan does not look at death nearly as like I guess what's the word like with
Taboo.
such like yeah as taboo. Like Japanese culture accepts death as like just the next part of life. They don't look at it as like, oh no, the dead. So in their minds, and like I don't know why, but before I was thinking about like the bomb in origami in Paper Mario Origami King that just sacrificed itself. And even though this is not a game from when we were kids, I was still kind of like, oh my god, it like killed itself to proceed with Mario's mission because the bombs just blow themselves up. But and I'm like, how does who's allowing this to like be published and like be like an E rated game? But that's just they don't look at death as like censored as the way we do, I guess.
I mean, I think it's largely just that American culture, especially, is particularly, shall I say, they tread lightly around any what we consider to be dark topics like death, car
Hmm.
accidents, or whatever. I mean, they look at like, you know, they don't they just talk about what happened, right? It's
Right. And I think this is an interesting segue to the next topic for traumatic TV shows. I know we're not talking about shows and stuff,
oh
but
yeah, TV shows.
trauma. Um, the only one I have in mind that's like a clear winner is Courage. The
That's what I was about
Cowardly
to say.
Dog was like the easy like that kind of made me scared of everything as a kid.
So
And
let me ask you there, which one specifically takes the cake?
There's
I don't there's all of them. There's
all
not
of
one
them.
in particular. The second that they would show like the bad guy and it's like this 3D animation of something, it really bent my imagination of like what other things I could think of on my own that like creep me out and freak me out, and that messed me up. Everything scared me. Like even Banjo-Kazooie scared me sometimes because I kept imagining different things happening that I didn't expect to happen because my imagination was like skewed by Courage the Cowardly Dog, like 100%.
See, the one that especially got me in that show was the one where his parents get blasted off the space slash killed.
Which sounds really
No,
funny
no,
now.
no. See, it's funny. Like I've had people tell me that the slab episode is the worst, and that like really messed them up.
Mm,
Return the
mhm.
slab or suffer my curse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, but the one for me is the barber. Not the barber one. Sorry, the hair. There's two hair related ones. It's a episode where Eustace's mom. I think it's his mom comes into play, and Eustace's mom works for like a wig company, and so somehow she like abducts Muriel and like they drug Muriel and suddenly she's like kind of in this like Matrix. I think it was maybe a play on the Matrix because she's like being farmed for her hair in like this factory in a doped up state and Courage has to save her. And I'm just like, this is really weird. It's really it's
Yeah.
like really creepy. But funny enough, I feel like that was a show I was allowed to watch as a kid. There were certain Cartoon
Yeah.
Network shows that I was explicitly not allowed to watch, such as Cow and Chicken.
Yep. I was
Um,
gonna say that.
my
Forgot about
parents
Cow and
decided
Chicken.
that Cow and Chicken was not, it was weird, and that we weren't allowed to watch that one. But I
Ren
don't
and
really know
Stimpy
enough
was
about it, but
mine that I couldn't watch.
I didn't see that one.
I remember.
Which one? Which one was yours, Matt?
Ren and Stimpy.
I was allowed to. I just didn't like that one.
I think it was Ren and Stimpy. Was it? No, I feel like it was. I feel like it had to have been something else.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you, Matt, for linking that in the chat. Bad Hair
Bad Hair
Days is
Day.
the episode. Yep.
Miss Bag and
Season
her,
2.
or sorry, Ma Bag and her company Growth Industries, instead of test subject with the rare blood type ABXYZ, bribed Dr. Vindaloo, who is I believe the Indian vet,
Yeah, he's the doctor. Yeah.
into revealing that his one patient with the that blood type is Muriel Bag. Ma's henchmen drag Muriel to the facility, and Courage must once again rescue her.
Is Muriel the wait?
mom.
Their last name is Bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never watched Courage.
What was the dad's name? It was Muriel and what?
Eustace.
I knew
What
the
a
names.
name.
I didn't know their last name was Bag. I've actually only ever seen one episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog.
So
I don't
that's
remember.
one
Some
episode.
people think it's like one of the best cartoons. Like
It's very
got a
good.
Best cartoon is definitely Avatar: The Last Airbender.
well, yeah. That's a separate podcast.
But I
So
feel like it
sure,
didn't traumatize
Brian
you.
has.
So
Maybe not Avatar, but Korra with Oman and the brothers and stuff like that. Like, was it at the end of season 1 where he just blows up the boat or 2?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He
Yeah,
does.
end of
That
season
fucking
1.
floored me.
It-
Yeah, so like
it's-
stuff like that.
Gosh, I think didn't we watch that together, like
Yeah.
live? Yeah,
Crazy.
we did. And you and I just looked at each other like, what? This was on Nickelodeon.
It was only like a 2-minute scene. Everything had been pretty good up beforehand, and then they just dropped that absolute bomb. And it's like, oh, this is a real show here. That's
That
pretty
was
sick.
I loved that because it was like everyone like going into Korra, it was like, all right, like this is the fan base that grew up with Avatar. We were all young when like Aang was around, and now we're old. We're teenagers. We're in college. Like when Korra's around, and the whole season still kind of had like a lot of those Avatar feels, a little bit more mature. And then that finale was like, oh no, yeah, we're real. Like this is some real shit we're going through.
Insane.
That was a nice deep cut right there. That was something I needed some good reminding of. Also, just blatantly spoiled it for Brian, but it's not like he's ever gonna watch it anyway. So
I only absorbed like half of that. So don't worry about it. At this point,
Yeah.
it's like saying Luke is, Darth
Darth Vader's
son.
Luke's father.
what?
Who the hell is
No.
Luke?
Exactly.
I'm just gonna say, having him watch the show along with us, like 1 or 2 episodes every few weeks, is probably not the best way to go through a show.
True, very true.
I mean, to be fair, this is how the shows were released. One episode
Wait, Kev,
every week.
have you seen it? Kev, have you seen it?
Korra?
Avatar or Korra, honestly.
Yeah, I've seen them both. Korra's terrible, but Avatar's good.
Korra is
Korra is
terrible.
not terrible. It's
Korra
not
is
terrible.
Don't lie
not
to
good.
yourself.
Yeah.
It's not terrible. There's certain there's season 3
Strong
slaps.
opinions.
Season
Season
3 is
1 is
mediocre at best. Season
up.
1.
Season 1 is bad. Season 2 is
Richie,
worse. Season 3 is
born in,
it's okay.
1970. What are you possibly gonna say here?
This is discrimination. This is age discrimination.
It's so
You
funny
can't
because
teach-
Rishi
can't
and
teach
I
a
either like
bulldog new tricks because it's illegal and you'll go to jail.
Rishi and I either agree 100% on things or like disagree 100% on things. There's no middle ground. It's completely black or white.
Yeah, that's true. The man is not wrong. See, we agree.
I'm never wrong.
Yeah, all right. Don't flatter yourself.
Shut up, Josh. Get out of here.
Whoa.
Whoa. All right.
So
Alright, do we wanna-
another traumatic. I got one.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the one that really messed. Besides Courage, there's a Dexter's Lab episode about it was like a virus spread by clowns that had clowns that like bit people. It was like clowns / vampires, and so when the clowns
So,
bit someone, you would turn into a clown.
so the
and
Last
that,
of
like,
Us meets.
I was like already kind of scared of clowns at that point, and that just like
It's like a COVID for clowns.
oh my god, it was so terrifying. Like he gets bit in the episode. Thank you, Matt, for laughing. Yeah, and he just starts kind of getting this weird giggle, and then his nose starts changing, and his feet get longer, and it was just like nightmare fuel.
I vaguely remember this. I'm
Nightmare
looking up
fuel.
stuff on it now, but it
Don't,
does sound pretty familiar.
Yeah, I think it still messed me up.
I actually only have ever seen Dexter's Lab in Hindi, which is a very weird experience.
I'm
Wow.
curious how much of it like translates effectively, like the jokes.
Good question. I can't tell you. I don't. One, I don't remember. Two,
I
I've
guess
never
if you haven't
it in
seen the
English.
original version, right?
Yeah. Like one, I don't remember. Two, I can't. I never saw the English version, so
Yeah, that episode, man. Oh, I still think about it to this day sometimes. Does anyone here like clowns that can vouch for this episode?
Like clowns? No.
Like enjoy,
Yeah,
or is this just
I
not?
gotta ask, are like clowns going to children's parties like a thing anymore? Like I don't really know a lot of kids, but I can't imagine a whole lot of them are like, oh boy, I love clowns. Like I think all modern media, clowns are just evil or creepy.
Yeah,
I mean, do you remember
I
that
don't-
Pennywise thing?
Like are
that
benevolent
people were doing?
clowns a thing?
Well, there was that
Buggy
one year with the creepy
clown.
clowns at Halloween.
That's what I'm saying. Do you remember that? Like where they were waiting out in the rain with a balloon? Like people were
Oh,
doing
I
that.
hated that.
That was like the most terrifying thing.
Come here, Rick.
Oh God! Don't you want your boat?
Don't you want your boat?
Brian.
That was really good.
Anybody else have a traumatic TV show or episode or something, or even
Have you
movies?
got okay? So Land Before Time is
Yeah,
an
I wanna hear
absolutely
this. I wanna hear this.
traumatizing.
What is this?
Have you guys
thing?
seen The Land Before Time?
Yeah,
Sure.
I've seen
Like
it.
the first
Evan, why
one.
are you showing Ninja Kiwi, by the way? Why are you streaming this?
You know they showed his mom being eaten, right? Like that. That's messed up.
Oh, I do not remember this.
All right, I need a link. I need a link.
I don't remember that. I remember her dying. I don't remember her being eaten.
Yeah, dude, she got eaten by a fucking Tyrannosaurus.
There's so many.
On screen? That did not happen.
No, they showed it in the shadows. Okay, here, let me find the link for you. I'm gonna revisit my trauma, thanks to you motherfuckers.
You're welcome.
Actually,
Good luck sleeping tonight. Oh, he's gone. He dipped. Oh shit!
So traumatic. He just had
It was
to
really
leave.
that traumatic.
So traumatic.
Was it that traumatic, Rishi?
I accidentally misclicked.
I was like, oh shit, he's out.
Yeah, wait, Brian, pull up YouTube.
Do you have a link for me?
I'll find one, yeah. Let me find one for you.
I don't remember a thing about Land Before Time, but I do remember having it.
Were all the dinosaurs girls, or was that just me?
No, they were definitely not. Literally, the main character was not a girl.
Littlefoot? Was that the name? Littlefoot?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's a guy.
Here, maybe this is it? I don't actually know.
It wasn't important to the plot, but I mean, like Frieza being a guy, like that wasn't important to the plot.
That thing's a guy?
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna open it up.
Oh god, it starts off very dramatic.
It
That's
is
a girl
incredibly
scream.
good.
Just sang.
I mean, but that's like
I mean-
all child characters.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
like, he was definitely voiced by a woman.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
literally
just kidding.
all
Yeah.
young male characters are.
Also, I'm pretty
basically.
sure the girl who voices Ducky was murdered by her father.
Oh yeah, he would. Oh yeah, it was like a murder-suicide or something.
Yeah,
It
yeah. I
is-
think he
If
killed
you want to
her
talk
and-
about supremely fucked up children's
Yeah,
show related things.
this movie is like a double dose of trauma.
I like this narrator.
I mean, if you're
I can't hear
if-
your
if we're
audio,
talking-
so I'm just imagining Romford.
If we're talking Land Before Time, though, I mean, the whole sad scene is the same idea as Bambi, fundamentally.
I've
Yeah, I
actually
was
never
just
seen
gonna say
Bambi.
Bambi.
I've never seen Bambi.
I mean,
It starts off rough.
yup.
I don't like deer, so I figure my.
Are you rooting for the hunters?
You
Yeah.
don't like them at all?
They need to feed
I
their
don't like
families.
deers.
I'm more of a
Kinda,
cow
though.
guy myself.
They're just
When's the
rats.
sad part? I'm like 2 minutes in.
Brian, you need to be more sensitive. Jeez.
No, like I'm like they like definitely showed the shadows of the T-Rex biting into his mom.
Rishi, I think this goes well with the next topic of things you're stupid enough to think you remember, but it didn't actually happen.
Yeah, it might be a Berenstein. I might have Berenstein Bears my. Yeah.
He's not a plant, I swear.
Looks like I Berenstein Bears myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Luigi being in Super Mario 64, says Rishi.
I like
I
Matt's
never-
comment here,
On the DS.
where she represents rural America.
Yeah, I do.
And food safety.
Somehow baby's monster.
Somehow Palpatine has returned.
I mean, this is pretty sad, but like Bambi, this other movie, Nestor, the long-eared donkey,
Oh.
has
Yeah.
similar thing.
I've never heard of- What is it, Nestor?
Yeah.
Dude, Nestor's
Nestor, the long-eared Christmas donkey.
Nestor or Lester?
not a
Nestor.
family, not a movie your family would show you. I don't think.
That's
Oh, not
just a donkey.
Would you say that it's not a tale the Jedi would tell you?
I would say it's not a tale the Jedi would tell you.
It's not
Or
a tale the
I would
Jewish
say
people
it's not a
would
tale
tell you.
the Jewish people would tell you.
Not a tale the Jews would tell you.
So it's about the donkey.
Oh,
that
so we're
carried,
getting to the political commentary part.
No,
of the
no,
podcast.
no, 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 no.
It's,
Cut that.
it's about the donkey that carried Mary to the to the what did you just say, the projects?
You said the prom.
The prom.
Oh, the projects.
The prom.
It's about the donkey that carried Mary to the manger from Bethlehem, or it's not Bethlehem.
Nazareth.
Nazareth.
Nazareth. Yeah.
I'm a good Christian. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm not.
It's sad. It's another film featuring loss.
Featuring loss.
Is this loss?
Is this loss? Yes. It's funny. Speaking of which, while we're still on the topic
Of
and haven't
loss?
transitioned to like misconceptions, it's kind of lost. I haven't seen Up.
You haven't seen it? I
Oh.
thought you watched it with me
No,
in theaters.
no,
Maybe I'm thinking of
no,
Wally.
never seen Up. I've heard it's too sad to watch. Joni won't watch it with me. I'm not allowed to watch
The
it.
first 10 minutes are like the saddest thing ever, and then the rest of the movie is fine. But like,
Yeah.
Like,
I've never seen
really
it.
just the first 10 minutes.
I've
it
never
is
seen
strictly
Wally.
banned in our house.
Wally's
I've
a
never
good
seen
one.
Wally.
You know, I watched that in the class freshman year. It was economics through film.
Which one, Up or Wally?
No, Wally.
Wait, now that I think about it, I watched Up for the first time in school, and I was just like
Wait, what?
crying in the back row, just like, am I a baby? Yeah, what class?
That's a normal human response.
Yeah. It's like, what the heck?
So this, funny enough, came up because like I was doing dishes or something in the kitchen, and I put on like this
Oh, and
Spotify
it had
playlist
Married
which has
Life
like
in it.
movie scores, and it had the
Oh
song
god, and
Married
it's like
Life in
that
it.
one song. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
And Jody was like, "Shut that off right
Poor
now."
memory.
Absolutely not. So yeah, haven't seen that one. I really haven't seen many of the Pixar movies since like Toy Story 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Up
Toy
came
Story
out
4.
before that, didn't it?
Yeah.
Did it come out before? I missed that one.
It
Then.
came out in like
Must be the one I
2008.
skipped. Yeah, I missed that one then.
Yeah.
But
Good movie. Very sad. I think I have the
Wally
DVD
was
if
really
you want to
sad,
borrow
so-
it.
I don't know. It's forbidden.
But I know how you don't
And
like
it's also
DVDs.
DVD. What?
But I know how you don't like DVDs.
It's just inefficient, man. Inefficient form of media at this point.
Brian the Jetson really against media.
We'll save it for a different topic. All right. I think we probably dried our tear ducts of this topic. Do we want to talk about?
I have returned.
What?
Yes,
Oh, he's back.
Here.
All right. So tell me about your childhood misconceptions.
everything
Life.
ever in Mario 64. Every single time, I like growing up and like in this like the years of just growing up, like I would convince myself there were certain areas of the game that just blatantly didn't exist because I either had dreams of them or I like had like really distorted memories of like literally being like 2 to 3 years old of like watching my brother or like other family friends play it, that like I would go back and play when I'm like 4 or 5 or whatever and try to find areas of the levels that never existed. And like one of them in particular is the very starting area. I'll like never forget that I had this extremely vivid dream where like you know how like when you start like in the courtyard and then there's like the hill right behind Mario before you go to Peach's castle? I had this like
Yeah.
super vivid dream that you could go over the hill and there's like a whole other second castle and stuff like that. And I remember being so like upset to find out that there was nothing there.
All right, I would like to know how many, or for how long did you all believe that there was a Mew at the bottom of the truck?
I never believed
Yay.
that because I didn't
That-
play
that I never
Red and Blue
believed.
until I was like 12.
Yeah. So
I heard that.
By which
one.
point that game was 10 years old.
I would
That
do
is
the
true.
Missingno stuff. The Missingno stuff was awesome.
I will
That's not
say,
really a that's not a misconception.
I will
that's-
say,
yeah,
here's
I
a
know.
misconception. I'm not. what was your ritual for catching Pokemon? Because I'm sure we all believed at some point it's
Holding
like,
my
oh, surely
Holding my breath.
there's some way that'll change the catch rate when I throw
I
this
literally wouldn't
Pokeball.
breathe.
You gotta.
That's a
Would
really good
definitely-
one.
breathe.
I was convinced that pressing B and up at the same time, the moment the Pokeball like latched onto the Pokemon, was sure to be the way to increase
Mine
your
was
catch
holding A for sure. It was
Oh,
like,
man.
Mine was holding A. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm trying to
it's very
remember.
boring, but it isn't. It is the. I still do it to this day.
I think
I was trying to
Chris
catch
and
that Chien Pao motherfucker, and
we either like both went silent or we turned the volume down on the game, or both. I can't remember. But I think it was something to do with the, like, we wouldn't make a sound or we would turn the volume off. That was like our thing.
You'll scare off the Pokemon.
When
Yeah,
I was
like,
playing
yeah.
Pokemon Coliseum, when I was playing Pokemon Coliseum, that's when I started holding my breath because the catch rates were already difficult enough, and then you were also stealing Pokemon in the middle of a battle, so it was like 30 times harder because there was
Pokemon
so much more going
Coliseum
on.
was a very good game.
And XD Gale of Darkness I thought was even better. I love those games so much. But
I
anyway,
never played XD, but I've heard it's
It's a
better.
banger.
Yeah.
it's an absolute banger. But
Myra B's theme is like the pinnacle of video game music.
Meyer, is
yeah,
it Mirror?
it's the Mirror B.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I've always said Myra because it's one R. It's not mirror.
Is it really?
I know that there was
It's Mirror
definitely
B.
like
Uh-oh.
I'm trying to think
Get
of
put
like
on
a
blast
certain-
here. Uh-oh.
It is. It does have one R. It could be mirror, but
It's definitely
Boy.
Mirror. I don't know why it would be anything else.
Yeah,
well,
it's
it's
Mirror.
one R.
That's true. He's right. Mirror is spelled.
Yeah, but he also has like a disco ball theme, a mirror ball, if you will.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm sure. I've just always called it Myra B.
I don't see a pronunciation key
Well,
here.
maybe that's a new topic. What names did you horrifically mangle?
Well,
when you were a kid?
what's his Japanese name?
What team are you on?
Brian, scroll up to the
Oh.
Japanese. I can read the katakana. If it's in katakana, I can read it.
I've got a great one for that question.
No, it's
Miro ball.
Miro. It'd be Miro. Mirror B. Yeah.
So, game Pokemon Conquest. If you remember
I
that
heard
one.
that one. I heard that one was good.
Great game.
Uh-oh.
Great game. It's called Pokemon Conquest Nobunaga's Ambition. But when I was a kid, when I first got it, I couldn't read apparently because I always thought it said Nobunga as ambition.
No.
Oh, wait,
It took
this,
me
I thought
years
this was
before I
going to be.
realized.
I thought you were going to talk about Pokemon Master Sex.
Oh, that's a great one too.
Oh, Master Sex, let's go.
That's like a whole other
Unfortunately,
thing.
Yeah, that's just
So-
like the spacing of like the way it was hashtagged on
yeah.
Twitter.
It's a hashtag and it's the account name.
That's why you always have to do your hashtags in camel case. All right.
So I think to Paul's question, though, I think for Pokemon, I'm trying to think of the most contentious ones. To me, I think it starts to diverge more around Gen 3 because people, like, the anime was further behind the American releases of the games at that point. So there was, like, more misconceptions about the pronunciation. So, like, Rayquaza or Rayquaza?
Oh yeah, that's a
What
big
team are you
one.
on? I always said
Rayquaza.
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 Yeah, I'm Team
I know it's
Rayquaza
wrong,
all the
but
way.
I know it's
Is
a
it
Quasar
is it
beam.
supposed to be?
Yeah, it's
Like,
a Quasar
see,
beam.
That makes sense, but
It does
like
make sense,
you
but I
ca-
hate it.
it's like you're putting the same like vowel sound 2 syllables
Yeah.
in a row.
Yeah, it's
And
supposed to be
it's like-
Quasar because it's like Quasar, but yeah, I say Rayquaza.
Yeah,
Which
and
I say
according
is
to
hypocritical
Rishi,
because the
it's
other pronunciation
Quasar
also
because
has
of the
syllable.
Quasar beam.
It,
But
it,
yeah,
yeah, it's supposed to be from a Quasar.
Okay,
but-
wait.
yeah.
All right. What does Growlithe evolve into?
Wait,
Arcanine.
there's multiple answers to this.
No, there
Arcanine?
Well, I've always said
It's-
Arcanine.
Yeah, some people say Arcanine, which is not correct.
Versus
No, I think
what?
it is because of a canine. A canine is a dog.
Wait, so
Well-
so instead of Arcanine, you say what?
Arcanine.
No, she said
which
Arcanine.
mi-
Yeah, some people just say
Versus
like Arcanine
Arca.
because it's supposed to. It works on arcane and canine, but like
Arcanine.
I think like they're like that's definitely what they're going for, arcane and canine. So it'd be arcanine.
I know.
But,
Well, the anime
This is Arcanine.
pronounces it as Arcanine. So
yeah, it's definitely.
I don't
just
know if
I've
that's
always said
correct.
Arcanine.
I think
But
I think it's just enunciation depends on how someone pronounces it because I think they're both still correct. Just like
Alright.
room versus Rome.
Wait,
water
what?
versus water.
Do people say rum instead of room?
Walk
Yeah.
in the room.
Yeah.
We do.
Okay, well, one of those are clearly wrong. It's clearly room and
It's
water.
I'm with you on water. I'm a weird mix.
Yeah, no one says. I know some people from New York say wooder. But they're
Actually, what does
wrong.
Matt say? Because we want to see if
Water.
this is a Jersey thing. You say
Water.
water. What about ROOM?
Room.
Oh wow.
Well,
right.
it's partly Brian. It's
Oh,
partly
wow.
Jersey. It's partly Philly area too, which is where a lot of our like accent stuff comes from. I've learned is actually
I know a lot of
Philadelphia.
people who say Mario instead of Mario.
Yeah, and I still hate
I wonder who
I
would
hate
say
it.
that. They must have been like the #1 Mario Tennis player in the world or something.
I used to
Oh,
say
yeah.
Mario. I
That'll
think
be
you
another
guys were the ones that
episode.
like convinced me that I was saying it
We
wrong.
beat
Was
it
it
out
you
of you.
guys? I think it was
I
you.
think we did.
Yeah, I think you
In
guys
college,
beat it out of
we-
me.
We
Yeah,
early,
Mario.
very very quickly got that.
You
got that
guys were
sorted out.
so appalled when I said Mario, and I didn't know what I had done wrong. Now I do.
I mean, I just don't understand for someone who's like, help me out here, man. Like, as someone who's played so many Mario games, a
Mario.
character who says "It's a me, Mario," and the games literally say Mario Kart
Listen.
8, or like they say the name in the game. How did you still think it was Mario?
Listen,
That's a good point.
He would turn
Just
off the
play it
audio
along.
whenever he would try to
He plays
catch
on
a.
mute.
He would
Listen,
turn off the audio when he
I'm-
tries to jump on Bowser. So
I'm with color blindness comes the
Wow.
the A
comes straight up
pronunciation
deafness.
deafness. Yeah,
It's a
so all A
disability.
sounds are the same to me.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, so
He's pulled out the disability card.
so Paul and I have a
Decode.
disability.
Right? We can't we have learned that Rishi and I can't use the Death Note.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
cannot use the
Discrimination.
I think
Man,
it's
I did
called-
not realize the gods of death would be so ableist. That's kind of fucked up.
God,
Ableist.
we need to add accessibility options to the
I'll be
Death Note.
honest, not to make you guys feel any worse than you possibly can, but I didn't think whatever it is we could call your guys' ability or lack thereof, like I didn't think that was something physically possible that a human can't do.
Yeah, man. Like,
Well,
seeing
at least
color.
I can see all the colors.
Yeah, at least I know what to do at a fucking traffic light.
Listen, most times I know what to do at a traffic
Ripping
light.
this guy apart.
What if there was a traffic light where they just decided to switch the colors around?
No,
Just
I'd
to
able
be a
see it just
dick.
fine. I could see the different colors. The only time I ever get even a little bit hesitant is if it's a flashing yellow, like a single light, like the single lights that are just like one flashing color. Sometimes
No.
if it's what? No, you've
No.
never seen that?
No,
He doesn't go
I've seen
outside.
like a flashing red light, but I guess
Wait,
They
What?
there's
You've
some.
never
I
seen a
think
flashing
sometimes
yellow
they
light?
yeah.
I've
they,
seen a flashing yellow
Yeah.
light, but only one that has all three lights. The only time I've ever seen a single light is when it's red.
just wait till you get to flashing green. If you ever figure that one out, let me know.
But anyway, if it's a flashing
Mhm.
yellow, I'll usually confirm, and I always say this is yellow, right? Like I know it's yellow, but I like having the backup in case on a whim I can't tell it's red. But 99 times out of 100, I know it's yellow.
I had a date last week where she didn't realize that not being able to see images in your head is normal. So that was
Yeah, can for context, since we're
Oh.
recording this,
That's
can
not
you
normal.
provide background on the so-called disability?
I don't
Yeah,
believe it.
so when someone tells you to visualize an object in your head, like say visualize an apple in your head, if you close your eyes, can you actually like physically see an apple in your head?
Yeah.
Because
What do you mean
apparently,
physically? Like, what do you mean physically?
well, you just see an apple when
the way
you
I
close your
like to
eyes and you
describe
think
it
about
is
it.
close your eyes, focus on your eyes, right? So like focus on what your eyes are seeing. Even for me it's black, but focus on your visual cortex and then try to visualize an apple. For me, no matter what, it will always just be black. I can't even turn.
Okay,
I
hold on.
can't even turn
Okay,
that black.
okay, I can
blue.
tell
No,
you why
no,
that
no, no.
is.
Hold on.
That's surreal to me.
Is this just like the same thing as like synesthesia, just in the reverse?
I think
Yeah,
that's what they're
no.
describing is
Yeah, see, I went my whole life when people were saying visualize this thing in your head. I thought it was just being metaphorical. I was just
I
like,
did too.
oh, you
When
just
people
like
said counting
conceptualize this thing in your head, like you think about.
Yeah, wait.
Like in
when
my
did
head,
you figure
obviously,
it
I
out?
know it. I don't know. I
When
just
people would tell me to count
I
sheep,
somehow
I
learned
had
that
no
like, oh,
idea.
this is a thing that people can actually do. I didn't think. I thought it was just a metaphor.
That's so interesting.
When people would tell me to count sheep, I have no idea. I did not know
You
what they
can't
meant
see
by
the
that.
sheep. Rishi, I'll give Paul all the excuses. Paul is an intelligent young lad. I'm gonna give Paul the pass here, but Rishi, I think you're
you.
just not trying hard enough.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, like, I'm wondering if I have this or
don't.
if y'all are just out there. I don't know, because
I'm
like
just
I don't
giving you an
see
existential
anything.
crisis.
Yeah, you
But
do,
like
Brian.
I can visualize, like if I wanted to draw something, like I know what it would look like and I can sketch it on a piece of paper. So what's the difference there?
Wait, sorry, repeat that.
So like yeah, I can't, like, if I close my eyes, yes, it's all black, even if I'm imagining what an apple looks like, right?
But you can see
I'm
it
not
in your
seeing
mind's
anything.
eye.
Nothing's coming in through my eyes. It's conceptualized. I'm imagining it. So
Right.
I don't
I mean,
really know.
it's like I know what an apple looks like in my head. I know it's like shiny and red, but like,
But if I told you
But
there's
you
a
can't
worm in
see
it,
it.
can you make that faint? Like I don't.
No. It's
I
the
could
difference between
imagine a worm.
conceptualization and visualization. I can conceptualize an apple. I know that I am thinking of an apple, but my eyes. So maybe a good example would be like when you're reading Harry Potter and she's describing the Great Hall. Do you see? Can you compare that what you see in your head to what you see in the movies? Because I can't. I
Yeah.
see nothing in my head. There's no.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have the disability.
Well, I think what we're getting at is normal people can see it in their mind's eye,
Normal
right?
people.
And like if you had like
Kevin
a
just
third eye,
threw a slur into this one. He just called us normal people.
Yeah, Kevin, that's fucked up, man.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man.
I'm gonna
Um,
take your word on it.
What's the word?
I
Aphantasia.
Asia,
I have
yeah.
I have a clarifying question, and I think somebody's asked this before, but I'm gonna ask this for the audience. If you are trying to recall a memory, can you visualize the memory, or is it just words in a book in your head?
I can replay it like a video.
Mhm.
Yeah, can
Yeah,
you
for
replay
me,
it?
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
it's just remembering the feeling of being in that moment.
Yeah, basically. Like again,
That's
I remember
so
conceptually.
interesting.
I know what happens. I can narrate it in my head, but I don't like physically see it playing in my head.
Like
You guys
I
not have a
could
memory?
I could physically, I could see, like, great example, when Brian had a paper bag over his head playing Injustice with us freshman year. I could see it perfectly.
Mhm.
I could see it perfectly. I could see him sitting down on the wood chair from now. It just sounds like I'm conceptualizing it, but like I
Well,
could
now
literally
I guess
see
the
him.
next question is: do
sitting
you
there.
see it through your eyes, or do you see it like from a dissociated third-person perspective? Like, do you see yourself as well, or is this from your point?
I could do both. I could
Ah.
do
do
either or.
both. I can only do
Yeah,
POV.
so I could see it both from my own perspective, or if I were to like quote unquote change the camera angle, I could do all of it. I could customize it.
We're so nerds.
It's difficult to change the camera angle, though.
Yeah, do we need
It
to?
requires a lot of concentration.
Yeah. Someone's got like Lakitu in the back there.
I could visualize
If you
it.
just flick C stick up, you can see Matt.
Do I have an overly imaginative brain? Am I able to see too much?
No, this I'm same with you. Like I can visualize it very strongly, very clearly.
I don't
However,
believe that Matt can visualize an apple because he has no idea what red is.
Well, that I
he has
give
an
us
absolute idea
podcast.
what red is, but red is different than our red.
Correct. That's
That's
actually
actually called
I
that's
perceive
called
red.
qualia. The concept of redness is called a qualia. It's not something that can be described. It can only be felt.
Better red than
Qualia.
bad.
It's not
I
a
feel like we
qualia.
fell way out of childhood misconceptions about video
Yeah, I feel
games.
like this is a
Better
whole other
dead than
podcast that we
It's
should do.
a philosophy. It's a
I want to get back on the topic though. So we were talking about the Pokemon one. Another one we had. I remember we used to think that if you cut the link cable when you were trading,
Oh my
that-
god.
or you could like pinch it with your fingers, But you could like stop the Pokemon midway, like
Oh
prevent
my
it from
god.
transferring. Be like,
Yeah,
ha,
and
I
then it
stopped
would
them in the
electrocute you.
yeah, because it was we used to
It's a
think it
real
was like
Pikachu.
going through a pipe or something.
Right. The way they did the advertisements for that was really cool. Or actually, no, even just the visualization in the game of like they're going through a little tube and it's like
Hmm.
going through the Game Boys. They've always done a good job with that. Trying to think of any other
I
miscon.
mean,
I'm sure I had plenty,
obviously,
but
obviously Super Smash, right? We haven't talked about
well,
that one.
that's good. That's gonna go straight into rumors and fake secrets because that's like the big thing there was
That's
like
true. That's
unlocking
another
Right or
category
something.
here. Yeah.
um
Well, is there a difference between misconceptions and rumors? Because rumors like Mew under the truck, that's fine, but
rumors are what
that's
you
a
hear from other people. A misconception, I believe, is something you've come up with on your own,
no, I don't think that misconception is
or maybe
something that,
go hand in hand.
at least for me, a misconception is something where you just understand something wrong, but and a rumor is like you understand what you
I think
do, but it's just not real.
Nobody
well, I've
misunderstood that Sonic and Tails were in Smash Bros. Melee. That just wasn't
Yeah, exactly.
true.
It's not a
I mean, the
misconception.
fact that conception is in the word means that, to me, it implies that you need to conceive of it independently on your own and like not hear it from another source. Like you can regurgitate, like, oh, Tails is in Smash, but like you didn't come up with that on your own. You just read it online somewhere, and you're like, oh, I guess I'll believe that.
Right. Like
Yeah,
nobody,
like a
I never once saw
misconception.
online that like there was extra areas behind the first hill in Peach's courtyard. Like that was something that I had like mistaken over time because I convinced myself there was something there.
For example, I had a misconception last week when we were playing through Pokemon Soul Silver that I think it was Clefairy was a fairy type. That's a misconception. No one told me.
That's
No,
just
it's
you
just
to
like
say.
No, that is actually a true thing.
Well, not in Gen 4.
I think that's just like misremembering.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow,
I'm just trying to.
This is like the least interesting angle you could have taken a topic. Let's not talk about the thing the topic is. Let's just argue about whether the words are good.
Well, we need to establish like what our topic
What
is
falls
before you
within
give
scope.
examples.
Got to
Yeah.
define the terms.
I don't think you do because I don't think anyone would come up with an example. The topic is both. Anyone could have listed any of the examples they were thinking of, and then it would have been fine.
Yeah, so I think a good example of this might be, and I'm trying to go back to how I thought this worked as a kid. Duck Hunt. If you guys remember Duck Hunt, I didn't know at the
Never heard of
time
that.
that it was just a white light sensor, but I think used to think it actually somehow detected where you were pointing on the screen. I didn't think about it enough, but you know, now when you know how it works, it's like kind of changes the way you see the. It was weird that the screen flashed. I feel like I did notice that, but I didn't. I just thought it was like the bang of the gun. You know, not that's
Right.
actually detecting where you pointed.
Well, Nintendo then they achieved exactly what they were looking for. They let you become imaginative enough with it to be convinced that you were actually aiming a gun.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they wanted you to do. Or to think, I should say.
It is a pretty cool way of implementing it. I mean, even in today's world, like it's a good solution.
Well, except for the whole, I just pointed at my light bulb. Keep pulling the trigger.
I mean,
It's,
true,
but
but at that point, screw
It's the
balls, you're
Virgin
not playing the
doing
game.
the Virgin doing things in software versus Chad doing things in hardware.
Yeah. I mean, trying to think of other ones. Blowing on cartridges, I think we had right. I think we kind of understood that
I
we
feel
had
like,
some
yeah.
stuff on it. But half the time, actually, that one I have heard we had wrong. I think the idea was we thought we were blowing dust off of it, but in truth, mostly from what I've heard, it's just disconnecting and reconnecting that really mattered. That you were kind of rubbing.
Yeah.
on the-
As a
on the
kid, I mean, I
contact.
still
Oh yeah, I see. Okay.
even if I still put any game into my N64, like to this day, I'm still gonna blow on it out of sheer instinct and just habit. Because I can't physically bring myself to put in an N64 game without blowing on it because then it wouldn't be the same to me. Like I have to do it that way. I can't not do it.
Yeah, cleaning the contacts absolutely made a huge. I could tell you, even not just a matter of work and not work, but a statistical difference of I put Zelda in my NES and it will work 10% of the time, and then I clean it with a Q-tip and it will work 90% of the time.
I've never thought about cleaning my games.
You've never cleaned it before?
You don't even clean yourself, dude.
Alrighty. And that's all the time we have, folks.
that's the
All right.
show.
So what I'm getting from this is that I should start taking a shower with my N64 game.
Exactly. Make sure
And
you
the,
put
and the
them
console.
contact
Plug
up.
it in.
Yeah, sorry, and the console.
Okay, this is like barely related, but
That's the best of
I
it.
remember seeing this YouTube video about a speed run. I forget what game was it. I think it was like the SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom game. It was talking about speed running for that game, and a very important discovery that they found was if they got the disc really dirty, like intentionally rubbed their hands all over it, then a certain glitch would work like way more consistently. And so literally the meta for that game was to rub their grubby little hands all over the game disc to make this glitch work.
That's so funny.
Wasn't
Wasn't there
really
a...
greasy?
Now, I know James, unfortunately, is not here with us this evening.
Not with us
Would
this evening.
100
He's no longer with
James
us.
is alive.
100 James is alive, but he would 100% know what I'm talking about, and I hope somebody else could attest to this. There was a Mario 64 speed run where something happened, an unexplained glitch that there's, I think to this day, a bounty on, like, just asking players to try to find and recreate the glitch. I think it's like the something glitch. I don't remember what it's called, but there's some whack ass thing that there was like a 1 in like a million chance of like
It's warping up in TTC.
it's what
Everyone remember
what?
that?
Oh yeah, that's the cosmic radiation hitting it
Yes, that one.
and flipping a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it could have
That
been something else, but that's as
Yeah.
probable of a cause as anything else at this point.
I mean, honestly,
that.
cosmic radiation is a lot less probable than just like the transistor wearing out
Yeah.
and, the transition level of the voltage being kind of lower than what it should be, and it kind of flipping between states.
But the
But
point
anyway.
is, everyone at this point assumes that the game's code could not have produced that outcome.
Yeah, that it's a non-solvable state.
Wait, I'm watching it now. Brian, you want to throw this up on? Oh wait, here.
Tell me like
Yeah. Oh my fucking god, YouTube won't allow me to watch it because I'm using Chrome. Look at that.
Ever heard of Intuit? The way to watch
Have I
What's it
heard
called?
of what?
Intuit. There's a bunch of it's on GitHub and there's a bunch of servers hosting it, and it's just an alternative front end that lets you watch YouTube videos and actually
oh, that right there.
Oh yeah. Okay, I've definitely seen before, but yeah. Mario just flies up.
Yahoo! Yahoo! Yahoo!
Yahoo! Yahoo! Yeah, and it's not even like a minor glitch. Like it really just rose Mario up to the high heavens. Like it's not subtle.
Matt asks, how many parallel universes does this require? I'll let you know when I finish this Ant-Man movie I started on the plane. Kang the Conqueror is about to make that one.
Oh, God.
But that
Did
movie
you
is
see that
terrible.
that meme of Ant-Man bathing in hot sauce?
Yeah, you should tell me about that.
What is going on?
Why are you
Bathing in
calling
hot-
this an Ant-Man movie when it was clearly the first in the many
Multiverse stuff, yeah.
The Modoc.
MODOK. Yeah, I just got to that part. But anyway, I think we could probably move on to the next topic. It's past 10 now.
What was that topic? I don't even remember.
The misconceptions
You
one.
spent so much
Well,
time
it's
arguing about
misconceptions.
the definition of it. No, I'm disappointed because I remember things going as far as Super Mario 64 DS. People were still making up things like how to unlock Waluigi in the game.
Rumors, buddy. That's the rumors topic.
It's coming up. It's coming up.
That's coming up. That's coming up.
Coming up. Stay
Oh, so we
tuned.
spent all that time arguing about it and then didn't even get
It
to
wasn't as long as yours.
So what you're saying is there was an importance in making the distinction because we're literally coming up with the other part of that topic
Right. Yeah.
eventually.
Why couldn't we just
So we were right all
combine
along.
them? If they were so similar, we needed to debate with a difference. We could have just discussed them both at the same time.
Nope, they gotta be
Oh,
separated.
filling
We
stuff.
can't digress from the show notes.
There were show
The
notes.
show notes are
Oh.
Corporate would kill
final.
us if we did that.
All right, Ratatouille moment. Something that brings you back to a year, a time, a place.
Anytime I open,
Again, I'm pretty sure this is a hate crime what you're doing.
No,
I
there's no like
can't.
smell or song or whatever that just like brings you back to being, a certain age, playing a game or something like, or watching a
I was saying
movie.
that I was actually
No, there is, and I don't know why. I have no
can't
idea why.
visualize it.
A very, very weird connection. But the sixth opening of One Piece will always bring me back to playing Fire Emblem 4.
That took a weird turn,
It's very
but I
specific.
get you.
Yeah, no, because it's a very catchy song, and
Yeah.
I had it on when I was like watching that part of One Piece when I was beating Fire Emblem 4 and then like modding it and everything um, in high school. So and obviously there's like 50, 60, whatever episodes with that song, so it got very ingrained in my head for that game in particular.
In a even like more literal sense with like the Ratatouille thing. And I haven't had one in a while, but I know that if I were to have like the mini Eggo waffles, like it comes in like four, it's like
Yeah,
four
yeah,
little
yeah.
circles, like Eggo waffles. If I were to have one like right now, it would blast me back into playing a level or of course, banjo level, Freezy Z Peak. I remember losing a tooth on an Eggo mini waffle on like a cold, like snowy morning playing Freezy Z Peak.
Did
Like
you forget
playing
to
like
cook
throughout.
it?
No,
Yeah.
no.
That makes more sense.
But for some reason, I lost a tooth in it, and I know that like if I were to have one right now, that it would just blast me straight into Freezy Z
If
Peak,
you were
like
to
in a
lose a tooth right
heartbeat.
now, it would blast you in Freeze's Peak.
Correct, that too. And then I was saying to James a few weeks ago that when I started up Mario 64 just like randomly a few weeks ago, and just hearing like the dee dee, it's a me, like the intro part, like it just like it still hits me like a fucking truck. Just there's never a point I could hear that and like not get like fulfilled with the nostalgia train.
Yeah, I I have certain. I feel like for me, it's usually music, and like for game, for like it could be like songs from the '90s or whatever. But when I think of like video games specifically, I think it has to be something for me, for my brain, the way it works, like that I haven't replayed, because
Yeah,
then I kind of lose that associativity.
it gets overwritten.
Um, yeah. So like one for me that came up fairly recently that I can think of is Chrono Trigger. I only played that game once,
I've never
but
played
that
Chrono
game has a
Trigger. I've heard
great
great things.
soundtrack. And whenever I hear a song from Chrono Trigger, I'm immediately put back. I think I played it's either high school or like late middle school. But I remember like my bedroom and like playing it on the PlayStation 2 because I had one of those. It was a PlayStation 1 disc, but it was in that double decker box
Right,
thing.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, that I remember that one very clearly.
The PlayStation 1 version with the absurdly long loading times for a 16-bit
Yeah,
RPG.
yep. Probably why it took so long to beat that game.
Actually, I'm playing Soul Silver like on cartridge on my DSi, and it's reminding me of when Hurricane Sandy happened. Not
Mm.
that this is like a glorious memory, but not having power for over a week, but the only things I could do are like charge my phone and my DS in my car.
Mhm.
And I played Pokemon Black 2 for like a, literally an entire week because I had literally nothing else to do because we had no power, and I just would sit in my room with like four sweatshirts on, like several blankets, and like a ton of candles, like just all throughout the house, and just like playing on my DSi because physically there was nothing else I could have done.
Another one for me, just like a broader category, I'd say, that does this. I'd say like any song from a game I played on the Game Boy Color. So that was like my first console or game handheld I owned was the Game Boy Color. So I like anytime I hear like a song and that kind of I think those were also 8-bit audio tracks, but like you had the audio front end of the Game Boy Color, which
Right,
was like different than your TVs for the NES. So it kind of had its own distinct sound profile.
right.
Um, those ones like bring me right back, and I just remember like sitting in the car. I remember that time period, my bright green Game Boy I had.
Oh, I had the
What
yellow
what
one.
color did
My
you
brother
have?
had the green. Yeah, I had
Red
yellow.
green.
My brother had green.
I guess he was the oldest. I don't think I ever had
Yeah.
a Game Boy. I think it was straight Game Boy Advance or SP. But I have more memories of the
Well, I got
SP.
for-
Advance, I think.
Rishi, I don't know
When I
if
got
you
it.
shared this sentiment with me, but because obviously everyone knows that like I'll go back to Maple Story every now and then, but I've been playing this on and off since 2007, and hearing the opening theme, which is still the same opening main menu theme, which is actually like a very, very, very beautiful song. It of sitting there and praying that my Windows XP computer could like continue running the game and actually load it properly. And like
Oh, yeah,
sitting
yeah,
there in
that's
it with like so much anxiety of like, am I even going to be able to play like my game today? It's
Would
a
it crash
Saturday morning.
constantly?
Is what you said?
Would it crash a lot?
No, it's just my computer would it just like wouldn't connect a lot of the time. Like it had
Okay.
horrible connectivity, and my computer was so old and slow, and every now and then it would crash or like my internet just like wouldn't connect to it well. But just classic like thinking that like, oh, it's the operating system's fault, or oh, it's like the modem's fault, and like not knowing how
Someone picked up the
computers work.
phone is really what happened.
Yeah.
Your mom made a phone call.
Yeah, and then suddenly the internet got faster, and then it was also much more expensive. But no, it was just like the unknowingness of like how the world worked, and like thinking that like me sitting there and like literally praying to God that I could just play my goddamn video game on a Saturday morning.
Praying to God, that's funny.
The other thing I wanted to ask real quick is, did anybody have a Game Boy Micro? Because I've only ever seen like one.
I wish
I went straight from the Game Boy Advance, the original one,
was
like
this?
a clearish blue one, to a DS.
It's good, Richie.
Why would you want a Game Boy Micro? There's
Wait, I'm not
really
familiar with the Game Boy
inconvenient way to play Game
Is the
Boy.
Game Boy
Yeah.
Micro the same as
show
the
you.
Game Boy
Someone
Nano,
link
or is there a Game
If
Boy
you're
Nano, or
watching
am
the
I
screen,
just
just look
imagining
at
that?
this.
I don't
Mhm.
think there is. I think you're thinking of iPod.
Did you ever see this thing?
Whoa,
It's
I've
like,
never heard of
uh,
this.
look at how small it is. It's like it fits in your palm.
Crazy.
It's just a little bit wider than a Game Boy Advance cartridge.
Oh yeah, that is what I'm thinking.
Whoa!
They didn't make many of them.
Wait. The DS came out in 2004, and the Game Boy Micro came out in 2005. Why the fuck would you get a Game Boy Micro? That makes
Oh
no
yeah,
sense.
no, it did.
They
I
were-
remember seeing
Yeah.
it. I remember seeing it at GameStop.
It's the worst way to play Game Boy Advance.
Well,
Yes.
it's cool, but like it's also
wonder how much
terrible if you
cheaper
are,
it
you know,
was.
an adult with semi-large hands or just normal-sized adult hands.
I think it's so cool. I would just want one so bad to just like sneak it into my pocket and just be able to play Pokemon Emerald like without it taking any pocket space.
But an SP wasn't that big either.
No, SP was also. Well, I'm playing my DSi right now, and it's even that is like very tiny for my hands.
I mean, so this thing also had a backlight. So it had a backlight and a rechargeable battery.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of just like downsized the SP to a super small feature size.
Well, yeah, but again, the DS had already come out by that point. So, like,
Yeah, no,
what's
yeah.
the point?
Yep. No, that's why I was
the
like,
deal?
that's why nobody had it. That's why I asked, is because like I only knew
Yeah.
of one friend of mine that had it, but like he never used it because like you said, the
But
DS.
Brian,
came
was
out.
it your Jewish friend?
No, it was my next door neighbor in Jersey. But
Was
they
it
had
Jewish?
like a lot of that stuff. You know, they got whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
It was, you know, at the moment.
And I mean, you're
Um,
lucky if you had an SP with a backlight. I had the older model that was front lit, so it looked a lot worse.
Oh, I had a
Maybe
Shrek
not.
model. I'm not even kidding. I had the Shrek edition of the SP. It was fucking awesome. It was green and orange.
Yeah,
The,
supposedly the actual backlit model came out later and was a lot more rare.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd have to look at the one I had, if it was actually backlit or not.
Mine just like stopped working one day, but it was already when the DS was out, so I didn't need it for any like there was nothing I needed it for anymore. But I'm like upset that to this day it doesn't work, and I think I know where it is, but it just won't work. It like won't turn on.
Looking back at old handhelds and be like, if I go to someone's house and I pick up their DS and their screen just kind of like flops backwards, I'm like, a
Oh,
gamer
yeah.
among us, a real hero.
A real hero.
Did anyone have to use the worm light?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember the
Yes,
worm light.
yes, I
I
had
had the
one
worm
for
light.
my Game Boy.
Well, I had to get LASIK because he used the worm light enough.
I mean, honestly, I got glasses in the 3rd grade, And when did I start playing with the worm light? Probably like first or second grade. So I don't know. Maybe you have a point there.
Connect the dots.
There's a class action in the works.
Oh, you have me
I
inspired.
didn't know you had
People
gotten
against the
LASIK,
worm
Brian,
light.
actually.
The people against the world.
People against the world.
That could be an episode title. Just gonna leave that in the notes.
Write that down. Write that down.
I didn't know you had gotten LASIK, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like the one time you actually saw me, I was not wearing glasses.
Oh yes,
That is true. Oh.
yeah, the screen magnifier. That's right. I
Whoa.
remember that.
I've
Yeah.
never
You could have
heard
just,
this.
Paul. You know, you could have just been born with better eyes.
Get rocked. Yeah,
Slow
that's
issue
wasn't
with
that color.
TBH.
Says the guy that
broke
can't
him.
see color. No, I've
I didn't
never
have the
seen that
screen magnifier. I had the worm light, and then I think on the Game Boy Advance we had those like fold top lights that were. I think ours was made by Pelican.
Oh, yes, I know exactly what you're.
Yeah.
They kind of like clamped around the device.
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of like covered your screen too, but it it wasn't that good. It like sucked the battery out. We'd be running through double A's. We weren't allowed to use the lights in the car. Like
Oh, yeah.
my dad didn't like that. If you turn the lights on in the car, you get told to turn it off. So
Like while he was driving, just normally.
Yeah.
like not allowed to put your
Come on,
lights on in the
Dad.
car.
Come on.
Yeah. I mean,
I feel
sorry,
like
was
I've
that
been
not a
in
common
that situation
experience?
before.
I thought it was
No,
common.
No, like classic, like common dad or
yeah,
parent
yeah.
just being like, "Turn that volume down," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"But
Also, turn the lights off if it's dark outside.
Yeah.
Did your parents
Can't
also
see.
tell you that playing video games in the car would cause your eyes to be bad?
Yeah, but I think they're kind of right. I think I was
Maybe
learned
it's
they were
not
right.
like-
Now I always like need glasses, whether it's distance or whether it's or close up. I need glasses for both things, but not for like 24/7 usage. So I'm like bone.
My man has bifocals.
So, question: how are my eyes going to be with all this time I'm spending 3 feet away from my
I was gonna
48-inch
say
monitor?
right at your monitor." Yeah.
Yeah, my 48-inch monitor, Josh. I'm not sure if you saw it, but it's pretty.
Yeah, the dead
it's pretty
setup
big.
is crazy.
So there's without getting into too much detail, I think there's two things there. There's like the amount of light you're taking in for one, but versus when you're in the back of the car and you're trying to focus on something very dim and it's like trying to read in the dark, right?
Right.
And that's bad for your eyes. Like that's been shown.
Yeah, because it's just straining.
You're just exactly. So I think there's straining versus like oversaturating, but I'm not an expert.
Probably
Anyway.
should have cared about my eyesight, but I'm
Probably,
I'm
yeah.
putting that screen right in my face.
Right in it. Right in it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're totally right. Like as kids, we were taught not to sit in front of the TV too close, but now we sit in front of monitors. Albeit, when we were kids, there were CRTs. We were right next to vacuum rate tubes and stuff. So, like, yeah, I don't know. It's probably not so good, but they weren't as bright.
We keep phones in our pockets. Or
It's okay. All the dark mode settings are going to save my eyes.
The dark
I'm
mode.
sure.
True.
It's true.
Are there
Dark
any
like
light
my
mode
soul.
users among us?
Depends on the time of day.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Need to kick them out.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I mean,
I usually use dark mode.
Really?
Anyway, any other Ratatouille moments before we switch?
No, let's roll.
Nintendo
Rumors and
Switch.
fake secrets unlockables. Let's address the elephant in the room.
So the
Sonic
Mew.
and Super
Yeah.
Smash Bros.
Sonic
Melee.
and Melee. Or Melee.
Melee.
So what did everyone think you had to do to get that character?
I thought it was KO 20 people in Cruel Melee.
Oh god.
Yeah, I think that's
the OG.
what I heard.
Impossible.
Or, wait, was
20 or 30? I think it was 20.
Poor
it?
I think
It was either 20
yeah.
people or 20 minutes. I can't remember which one I heard.
I think 20 people, I believe.
20 people. Yeah, something just stupid like that.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
I never knew how to unlock Shadow Mario in Mario Golf Tozo Tour correctly until like 3 years ago. Because for some reason, as a kid, I had been convinced that you needed to get like an albatross, which is a 2 on a par 5 in every golf course. Not every obviously hole, but like in one par five in every single course in Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, and that game is not easy.
No.
And to get a hole in two on a par five is really difficult. But then I found out that you just have to do the ring challenge, where you shoot the golf ball through like a ring and then finish the hole under par or breaking even with par.
Mm.
Josh gets it.
God, I love Toadstool Tour.
Got such a.
I
good
forgot Shadow Mario was in that game.
game.
Yeah, I didn't actually know that.
I'd play as Speedy Piranha or Boo. Those are my guys.
Well, yeah, I was PD or bust, but Shadow Mario was just such a cool addition.
I think one of the things though, like kind of like the Sonic and Smash rumor. I remember every time we'd have a book sale in school, they'd always have, or like the Scholastic
book
order.
fair.
Yeah.
Oh,
There was
those
always
were
like
great.
one or two cheat code books that you could find. And this was like early 2000s, and a lot of the times they were just wrong. Like there was a lot of
Yeah.
garbage in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't have that experience. I do remember the Fruit Loop wrappers containing hints for games like Mario Kart and Donkey Kong
Fruit
64,
Loop wrappers,
though.
really?
Yep.
You think that was a brand deal?
Yeah, so they were real because they were a deal with Nintendo.
Wait, so
Yeah.
how'd you get the game?
In
Well, normally, but they were hints.
Oh, okay. That's what you.
So they would tell you, like, I remember, I think one of the tiny race mission things, it would tell you, where that is in the level and just give you fine things.
Hmm.
Mario 64, that's how I learned about drifting, I'm pretty sure,
Mm-hmm.
on a Fruit Loop wrapper.
to Sam's point earlier, unlocking Waluigi when you get 150 stars in Mario 64 DS. Still upset that that's not real.
I had never heard that one.
There
one's
That was
good.
that was a big one.
For me, there was one compelling clue that there was a secret in the game we hadn't found yet. I'll see if I can find a screenshot, but there was something on the title screen when it would show you like a panning view of Peach's castle that wasn't there in game, which seemed like, an Easter egg sort of thing, but it turned out it never was.
Thanks for the bone.
So when you see something like that, you think, oh, well, there's got to be something hidden in this game. So maybe it's this Waluigi rumor everybody is talking about.
Mm.
There, I found a
Where is this?
picture.
Sorry. Oh, there it is.
That black square
yeah.
on the tower
Yes.
is not there in game, and so it makes sense that it would mean something. Maybe be something
black
hidden,
square on the
or it
right.
would be a window that's unlocked later in the game.
Yeah.
On the right side, Sam.
Yeah.
Huh.
And so when people point that out, you go, "Oh, that's got to mean something."
Right.
Turns
Where
out, no.
Waluigi crawls out from.
Maybe.
Roll.
He crawls out of there. That's how you unlock him. Yeah, I also seem to remember there was kind of mixed information between, what little we could find online. We used to use two sites that I remember.
Cheatcodes.com, baby.
We didn't use cheatcodes.com. We used cheatplanet.com and
Use
gamewinner.com.
game FAQs.
Yeah, any
Game
other
facts.
game FAQ chads over here?
Game
I did later
facts.com,
on,
man.
but they weren't like my first choice.
I used a website that had a deal with Game FAQs to rehost all of their content. It was called NeoSeeker.
I think I've
Oh,
actually
yeah,
heard
I
of
remember
Neoseeker.
But yeah,
I
they
remember
just
Neoseeker.
Yeah, I gotta say, is it game facts or game FAQs? Because I always
It's
said
game
game
facts.
facts.
It's definitely game facts. I'm just fucking around.
I was gonna say,
Coming to game facts.
I was gonna say, you said game FAQs. I was like, oh, I always
Yeah.
said game facts. Should I say that?
No, it's game facts. It's
Okay,
game facts.
good. Thank you for
I always had
gaslighting.
FAQs.
That reminds me of the lost art. That was the full ASCII art and detailed stuff.
Yes,
At the top of
yes.
all the
There's
guides.
enough. A guide is good if you open up and you see an ASCII version of the game's logo or something.
Have you seen the Super Metroid guide? That's famous for having something like that. See if I can find it.
Yeah, it's not
Didn't it have like the maps that were like drawn with ASCII or something?
Maybe that's not the one I'm thinking of. The thing that made this one special is GameFAQs had a limit, or at least they encouraged every line of text to be 80, I think 79 characters wide. I'm pretty sure it was 79. And there was one guide for Super Metroid where, every non-terminal line of a paragraph was exactly 75 characters long. but not by using extra spaces or anything, just carefully choosing words
Whoa,
so that the length exactly lined up.
That's so interesting.
that's so sick.
I remember not believing that Rob was a Mario Kart DS unlockable because when like the game first came out and it was only in Japan, I was like, there's no way they could put a not Mario character in this game. And then when I like unlocked him, I was like, what the fuck is this? But now I love him because he's great and he's like adorable.
I found it. This is not an easy to demonstrate audibly, but
Let's see. Okay, all right. So that's
scroll
the
to the middle and you'll see what's going on.
the middle of the whole guide.
Yeah. I mean, you'll also see as you scroll. Look at that. It's beautiful.
Did I pass it?
No,
So
you're looking at it.
symmetrical.
See how the left and right margins always line up perfectly?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And this is plain text. There's no tricks. This person
That's
actually had to
crazy.
choose their word use perfectly so
That's
that every
awesome.
line exactly lined up with the margin.
Yeah, they're not like doing justified, right? So they're not adding spaces, it seems like.
This is the kind of thing that HTML has lost us. If you read some of the game FAQs, sort of tutorials on how to write guides, that was my at least introduction to copyright on the internet. Because at the time, there were two issues. Well, the most important issue you had to worry about as a guide writer is your guide just being reposted on other websites without your permission. You know, because they want to make money off of it. It's like, oh, this guy wrote a really good walkthrough. Let's put it on my site and then put ads in it or something.
Right.
And it would talk about, you know, your rights, what it takes to legally copyright something, and those sorts of things. What type of text is copyrightable and what isn't. You know, if you just make a list of items in the game, someone else can use that list because it's just information, not anything artistic. It was very good for its time on explaining those sorts of things to an internet user.
I
This
just
one
thought
has
of
a-
another rumor that I think is very, very cool. The Thwomp unlockable character in Mario Kart 64. Is anybody familiar with that? Free Marty.
No. Explain.
Free Marty was the most batshit fucking crazy rumor I had heard as a kid. Hold on, let me try to pull this up. Mario Kart 64 Marty. So Marty was the name that they gave the thwomp in Bowser's Castle. It's a green thwomp behind like a jail. The first thing on YouTube is how do you unlock Marty in Mario Kart 64?
Yeah, there was a thwomp in a cage that seemed significant because it's not like there were a lot of vision. There were
Free
shortcuts
Marty.
and things like that in Mario Kart levels.
so
And when you
fun.
see something hidden behind something, you go, "Oh, that's probably a shortcut." At least that was my thought.
Yeah.
I never thought, "Oh, that's an unlockable secret character."
But yeah, Free Marty. This is I just posted a picture of what it looks like, but it's so funny.
Where'd you post it?
Yeah, I definitely believe there was a way to open the bars.
Look at him,
I
he's
did
such
not
a
think
good
there was a
boy.
way to play as the thwomp.
I was so hopeful. I really wanted it to be real. Oh wait, I gotta show the most important image ever for this topic.
I think real quickly too that we mentioned Mew before, but Mew is probably a good example for this category. Mew being under the truck. If you like left the SSN, there's an SSN like sequence you had to do, if I remember correctly, to get it
Yeah.
to leave, and then the truck's still there. Like you had to beat the game while the SSN never left because you died.
No, you have to trade over a Pokemon with Surf because you can't like get Surf and then have the Vermilion City thing still be there.
Well, you would also
Um,
have to have gotten the gym badge, you serve.
Yeah,
There's
so
no-
you have to trade over a Pokemon with Cut.
It is not
no.
difficult to skip past the guy who stops you from going back to the dock. Because after you complete the SSN, it, quote, leaves, which is really just there's now a guard that stops you from going back to the dock where it was stationed. But if you can get back there, it's still there because the game just doesn't expect you.
Yeah. So you have to get a Pokemon with Cut so you can go skip the SSN entirely because the SSN gives
but
you
you
Cut.
can't-
No, you don't. That's what I'm saying. You can just skip past the guy who tries to stop you and cross the loading zone like normal.
So more importantly, has anybody
Because
seen
Vermilion City, you can't get into the gym without Cut.
No, that's
Yeah,
true.
Has
so
anybody
you have
seen
cut.
the
You can
image?
beat the game normally and revisit the SSN is the point.
Has anybody
It's
ever
glitched,
seen
but you can do it.
Yeah, I
Has
have seen
anybody
this
ever seen
one.
the image I just posted of like the fake like melee roster?
Yeah.
That was like the dream come true roster if it ever became real. And
Yeah, I
honestly,
really wanted to
Ultimate
play
feels
Tattle
like
and
a dream
Tail.
Yeah, no.
I mean, a lot of these ended up
being
being
real.
part of the game later on. I mean,
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker.
All right, who the fuck
Slippy
wants Dampe from Ocarina of Time?
Vader.
Smash Bros. I gotta say, I roast the people who are like, "Oh man, Bandana Waddle-Dee's gotta be in Smash," but I'm looking at this and I'm like, I think those people had a little better taste.
Yes, Slippy.
In Smash, the quick.
Bond.
With a quick.
I wouldn't have complained about Frogger.
Be interesting.
I played a lot of Frogger as a kid, actually. Like the Frogger PC version was really fun, actually.
The Luke and Vader cutouts are so badly done.
Terrible. Awful.
Wait, who's Jack?
Where's
I'm
Jack?
guessing
Just Jack, like top right?
It's Superman.
Top
Oh,
right,
it
like
is.
Oh, I don't
second
know.
row.
Is that like Advance Wars or something?
Well, doesn't that look like early Pokemon character art?
That's
If
what
you
I was
guys
thinking.
look
I don't
at,
think
like,
they're called Jack.
That's why I
yeah,
was
if you look
thinking
at the
Advance Wars.
manual for Pokemon for Gen 1 Pokemon, the character art looked a lot like that.
Also, Jinjos as a character.
Yeah, let's go.
Multiple.
Pikmin
Yeah.
characters.
You get 4 of them in a coat,
And a little hat.
and they hit you with the 5th one.
The
Yeah, the
ghosts from
Ginger Man
Luigi's
should be a
Mansion.
character.
See, that's plausible. Timing lines up.
Frogger's Adventures. I had that game. That was a good one.
I mean, they did throw in random Fire Emblem characters that nobody knew about to promote Fire Emblems.
So true.
The
They
funny
could have
thing
thrown
is that,
in ghosts to promote Luigi's Mansion.
Ghosts.
the funny thing
Just
is too, that
ghosts.
a significant amount of the characters listed here actually came to be in the game.
I think whenever they add in a new Mario character, I think they have to keep going down the line of like how they added PD Piranha, or yeah, no, not PD Piranha, the Piranha Plant, because that is so much more fun of an idea than like a Pauline or something. Like I think they should add King Boo. I think they should add in something like fun, and that's like an enemy or something, and keep going down that train.
Honestly, hot take. I don't really care about new characters in Mario Kart. I just play Yoshi anyway.
No, in Smash.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Smash that actually matters.
At this point, surely everybody just has a default character that they'll always pick, though. Yeah. So, like, it's like, oh boy, they added Metal Gold Peach. And I'm like,
Yeah,
well, I'm still just playing fucking Donkey Kong or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
like,
guess that's a good point.
if they don't
In
change
Mario
the
Kart, you
weight
mean?
class, like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, yeah. I like to like. I'm glad they brought back PD Piranha and stuff like that, just because it's like nostalgic for Double Dash. But like, of course, I'm still gonna go with Bowser and PD and whatever and King Boo.
Kingdom.
Like they're adding Diddy, and that's great. I love Diddy. But does that affect me? Not really. I'm not really gonna switch. Anyway, I think let's go to the last topic. I think the format that we're testing out with this, or I'm thinking we test out with this, is end off with a quick tier list that we can do as a group and argue about. I say quick, but you never know. Anyway, so Matt was saying he wanted to do fruit by the foot, fruit roll-ups versus gushers. So I found a tier list maker for fruit snacks, and I added a few to it.
Oh,
Obviously,
you were able to customize. Wait, how do you make your own tier list?
You can
Like-
make a
Yeah.
template here. Yeah.
Template. I meant template.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
you
you can
make a
take it
template and you can just upload pictures.
Yeah, you just do choose files here.
Oh.
There's some weird duplicates here, and for some reason, this person put Flintstones vitamins on it, which they are good, but I don't know about fruit
Delicious.
All right, so let's start with the tier rankings. We got S, A, B, C, D. Should we do in a never had,
Yep. Never have I ever.
in case none of us have
So-
had it and can speak for
I
it?
feel like the Flintstones gummy.
Wait, we can actually see the tier list.
See, this is gonna be interesting.
Because the Flintstones are not a snack. You can't have those recreationally.
Not with that attitude.
Therefore, is a B tier.
That's what they do to stop you. That's what they do to stop you
But
from
the
becoming too
Flintstones
powerful.
actually provide like nutritional value.
True.
All right,
yeah.
let's start from the back and work our way forward. So fruit roll-ups.
Okay,
Over.
first of all, I'm just gonna say that Annie's
Oh.
fruit snacks are S tier. Like they're the only fruit snacks I would actually have as an adult.
Never had.
I would put Welch's at S tier as well because those are
Nah.
fucking
Let's go back
fire.
to front, everybody. This
Front,
one's
front,
my
yeah.
favorite.
All right, so we got Annie's at S tier. I feel like I don't feel strongly about these new age fruit snacks. I mean, Annie's and Welch's, they all just kind of taste like nothing.
Mott's,
me.
I feel like it tastes the same thing as them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're a lot
I
of
don't
know.
Sorry,
standout ones.
What are we ranking this on? Let's agree on what our tiers are. Is this for like holistic? Are we ranking this holistically? Like,
Well, I think we should rank them based
Sure,
on.
you gotta have flavor, texture,
No.
edibility.
No, we're missing everything. We should rank this based on if we could imagine them in our heads.
no.
We should
we can
base
see the
them on
color.
what color is strawberry.
Because are we really saying Welch's is S tier? Because like,
Welch's are
No,
Welch's
put them
are
in A,
not
put them in A.
S tier.
I feel like they're
Welch's
they're
are
they're a
pretty
very
good.
safe pick. Like, I don't know. There's nothing.
Also, I got to
nothing's
front with
gonna
you.
kill me in Welch's.
I don't have enough of these fruit snacks to actually have like a strongly developed opinion. Like most of these, I haven't had. If I've had them, then I haven't had them in like 15 years.
Gushers are
Agreed.
definitely S tier. I think we can all agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I don't think nostalgia is allowed to play a part
S
in
tier?
this ranking. I think
Yeah, I would
nostalgia is
put a
allowed
Gusher in
to
S
play a
tier.
part in this
Gushers are
ranking.
good.
You know,
But are they great, Brian? That's the question you need to ask.
All right,
No, no,
can
those
we
are-
can we just like let's take off these new age?
Brian, I think
And,
you're
like,
really
let's just get
stalling
down-
the process.
Now
Let's get down to brass tacks.
We got really a few serious candidates
Yeah,
here
just
to talk
weed
about.
them out, and then we could actually like move them around.
Hey, why,
Alright.
why do you remove like the? Oh, never
Because
mind.
I feel
It's still
like
there.
Annie's, Welch's, and Mott's are all just like we took the stuff out that was going to give you cancer, and they all kind of taste the same.
and therefore are like actually palatable.
Yeah, that's not that's not the point of this tier list, I'd say. 'cause
There's no
I want
emotion.
no part
behind
of your tier list.
we could do a health tier list later, but
it.
all right.
Well,
For
it's
me-
like why would I
Gushers
not
are
want the one that like still tastes good and like isn't gonna kill me?
Because I want the one that tastes like sugar.
Yeah, because you're a kid, you don't know anything
I'm a
about this.
child and I want to stuff this in my face.
I
Although,
still want to shove them in my face.
what's roll up versus fruit by the foot? I'm assuming is there like a clear winner and I just don't know?
Fruit by the foot for the
Dude,
accessibility of
Fruit by
eating
the
it.
foot for the
Yeah.
accessibility, and
It's the
you
fun
can
of it,
whip
right?
it out of the package. For me, S tier. What do you guys
S
think?
tier.
Mm-hmm. But what
For
about
roll-up?
Gushers?
I feel like I'm dropping at A.
Yeah,
It's good?
I would
That was my
agree to
first
that.
choice.
Wait,
Do we
what's the
think roll-ups are
difference?
good?
I genuinely don't know.
Roll-ups are like squares. Correct? They're like a square of
Yeah.
fruit by the
No,
foot.
They're like
That's
a
what-
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
They're the same thing basically. But they're
Mhm.
they're in like that like plastic like saran wrap, which is like
Mhm.
very annoying to deal with.
Oh, I loved peeling that off though. Ooh, such a
But
good.
then it would all like fold up on itself, and then you didn't know how.
Yeah,
to
it
eat
was. Yeah, it would end up just being a ball by the end of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like B tier, maybe. Good idea.
I'm okay. I'm okay dropping
Meh
that to B.
execution. Now we throw those bad boys. Oh yeah.
I think Gushers go into A. I don't put it in S tier though. I don't know.
Give me a good argument.
This is maybe very.
The only
Just
reason
me?
I could
Just
put
'cause, like they're
Gushers
chewy.
below-
I didn't like. Maybe this is the intention of the product being named Gushers, but it was a little. I liked the gummy part, but when they like explode in your mouth, that
Oh,
was a
shit,
little
Part,
bit like
that's the best part.
Is
I was
that
gonna
like
say,
the
you're
weird.
Yeah, you're not the. That's not the. You weren't the target audience then. I see.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
I
fair.
agree.
Yeah, those target audience, dude. We love the gush.
The
Dude?
gush.
you like
the
the fruit
gushies.
snacks busting a fat gush in your mouth?
Like a newfound love of mine that like sort of falls into this category, but not really. High chews. Those
But high
shit-
chews are really good. Yeah,
Those are
that's what I was
so
saying.
good.
That's like a Starburst, though, right?
Yeah, it is basically a starburst. It is a fancy Japanese starburst.
Oh, I've never seen this. Interesting. I've also never had the Scooby, so I have to sit out on this one.
Scoobies
Mr.
are pretty
Scoober.
good.
Yeah.
If no one's had them,
Yeah, I've never
take
had
them
the
off.
Scoobies.
But I don't put them above
I've
the
never had
roll-ups.
Scoobies.
Would you
I was
put
happy with that
any
fruit roll-up.
of the like gummy bears, moths, welches, anything like that above Scooby, or does Scooby win out for being like a good fruit
Oh
snack?
yeah. As like, what do I want? All right, actually, here's what we're gonna call this. What do I want in my lunchbox? This is the tier list. What do I want in my lunchbox?
Scooby.
I'd rather have Scooby over Welch's,
Sure.
Flintstone vitamins, Moths, Annie's.
Uh-huh.
I never had Haribo. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, they're
I don't
just
know.
regular like
They exist.
Oh no, those are normal
They're
gummy
just-
bears.
Aren't those the ones that give you like explosive diarrhea?
Probably.
They
I
probably
believe
all
they
do.
have a trace
Probably
element
all of them.
laxative.
Well, I think you might think that you're better than this list.
I
They
know-
all
I-
give you that.
I know the Haribo like sugarless had something to do with that, but yeah.
Something with like the sugar they used as like a sugar-free substitute.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know what this is. Never had that. It seems like Target brand or something. I never had Black Forest either.
Black Forest is a good brand. I will consist. But I'd put Black Forest like top of D. Like I don't
The top
agree
of
with,
D.
yeah.
Good brand, D tier.
I think we gotta get the chocolate gummies. So, I mean,
Josh, we have to do an Oreo tier list.
Oh god.
Hey, we have a few minutes. If you can find one.
But I
you can
still
pull it
think
up.
that Welsh is like
No. He
Welch
says we're
is-
sleeping on Welch's? I don't know.
No. I'm saying that like I'm trying to think of like anything that like stand out beyond Welch's or anything like that. I'm just like, is the fruit snack game really this sad? Like, is
But
it?
it's not like what you want today. 'Cause
Yeah.
Today, I don't think I'd want fruit by the foot or any of those. It's like, what did you want when you were in third
know,
grade to
yeah.
find your lunchbox?
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been Welch's, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. No. Welch's is
Wouldn't
I
have been
want
Welch's.
Welch's. Fuck you guys.
the stepdad.
Really?
puts-
You'd rather have Welch's than fruit by the foot.
No,
third grade.
no, I did not say that.
jump off
I
of-
did not
yeah.
say that.
I'm glad that Foot by the Foot made it in its rightful place, though.
Well, yeah, fruit by the foot is the ultimate fucking
Gangster.
fruit snack.
Mm-hmm. I feel complete with this list.
All right. If we have time, I'm going to see if they have. Paul's going to love this next one because he's probably never had one in his life. Lunchables tier list.
Oh,
Oh, you're correct. I have never had one in my life.
I was
Oh,
not-
here we go.
You know me well.
Oh yes. Oh my
Wait.
goodness.
I was not allowed to have
Let's see,
Lunchables as
there's-
a child.
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like this-
probably for the best, dude.
I feel like I only
Oh,
know
yeah.
like 3 of them though.
That's probably why you're taller than me, Rishi. Honestly, it's because I ate Lunchables.
Taller than me.
Uh,
Wait, does that say Lunchables?
Is this all of them?
juice?
I don't know if I like this tier list, Josh.
I can't even tell
a
the
lot of-
difference between half of these.
Well, Brian, I only know of,
Lunchables
like,
uploaded.
I only know really like 3 Lunchables.
There's pizza, ham and cheese,
Yep.
and then
then tell me something else because that's the only 2 I remember.
okay, that's the only time I remember.
All right, so the question is though, is
Wait,
oh
look
my
at this.
goodness, look at all these.
All right, this looks more familiar to me.
I don't think we ever got Lunchables more than like once or twice, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
No, I got them a lot more than
Yeah, but
we
they
stopped
had
buying
the-
them after you were born.
yeah.
Yeah, but they'd have like the little Butterfinger. No, like,
Oh yeah, what about the ones at the Capri Sun? Those were nice.
yeah. Oh, I love
Dude, I liked pizza the most, so I'm gonna have to
What?
put pizza. Yeah,
Really?
I never. Yeah,
I thought the pizza one was such fucking ass.
I was gonna
It's
say
so
the
good.
ham and cheese. Oh my god,
It was
such a
ass, but-
classic. I never liked.
you think
It's
over.
ass.
You
S
think you want
tier.
to drop? I mean, I never really had the ham and cheese.
Ah, I
So
see.
if you've had both, then like I'm gonna take your word on
I
this
think
one.
I think it's just there's the saltiness of that ham that they'd put in there was just that taste so artificial, so American. Really just got down to my 3rd grade roots. Some
Oh,
singing
wait.
the
Going
pledge,
third grade roots.
Oh, this is the one I had. Do you remember this with the little chocolate thingy?
the candy.
Yeah, it has
remember
the
the candy.
Capri Sun and then that chocolate. I think it's a cookie, but it almost looks like a cake in that photo.
Gosh, delicious. Damn, I want some Lunchables. Dude, why is there one that just looks like an Oreo?
This
Did you
is
guys-
literally just an Oreo.
Like, what the
What
heck?
is this?
This is a brand deal.
Build
It
your
says
own
chicken
Oreo
sticks.
would be a good product.
Build your own Oreo. They just give you 2 slabs and a thing of cheese. With the cream.
Matt
That's
says
funny.
Josh loves the gush and the salty ham.
Oh, he's a true American.
I am, dude. At least I know I'm free.
At least I know.
Right.
And I'm
I think
brown.
if Matt weren't on mute, he would be very disappointed to hear pizza not above ham and cheese. I think he's
Yeah.
a big pizza guy.
Pizza man. Pizza. It
Loves-
looks like pizza is top 2.
Dude,
We need to do a
pizza-
Pop Tart tier list.
He's royal. The pizza is ass though. Like I loved it as a kid, but it is literally. I'm gonna paint a picture for Paul because he's never had it. Imagine I got a square of I don't know, like a saltine cracker that I scraped all the salt off, soaked it in water for a bit, and then dehydrated it for like
Such a
few
good
weeks.
comparison.
Perfect description.
So it like turns into like this kind of soft cardboardy state. And then I gave you a plastic packet of what is probably mostly ketchup.
Really selling it to me.
Dude, I did so good though.
And then
Perfect. It's so
a
spot
small little tub of processed shredded cheese that's not even just Mott's. I don't think there's cheddar or whatever American. It's probably American. I don't even know.
Imagine if it was shredded American. That'd be so sad.
That's
No,
awful.
you know what? The more I think about it, I believe I do have to come over to the light side. I think like if I were to open up that lunchbox, and especially if I saw the pizza and the treatza is what it's called, dude, I'd be hyped.
Pizza.
The treatza is so good. So yeah, I think I had more enjoyment out of the pizza, even though it is probably not as nutritional or tasty.
nutritional.
Pat says it wasn't about the main; it was about the sides.
Yeah, dude, the Butterfingers, dude, or whatever, like little treats they put in.
Mhm.
Hot dog, hot diggity dog. I love a Capri Sun too. Make it into your little phone.
Love
Hello.
Capri Suns. Yeah,
Capri
we used to
Suns are
launch
good.
the straws. That's what we would do.
Wait, how do you launch the straw?
So after you finish it, you
Uh-huh.
blow air into it. So it
Oh,
just goes
sure,
up in
yeah,
there,
and then
and then you
smash
jump
it.
on it, and it shoots the
Yeah.
straw out. We used to do that.
God, no one had fun like we did.
That was before we started shooting the bottle caps off Poland.
Yeah.
That was like middle school.
That's before we started making paper wasps and making kids
Yeah.
bleed. The good old days.
But it got too real.
We'd have our crunch bar and then slam the pouch on the ground. Yeah, no, I'm okay with pizza winning.
That would be a really funny
So you
bet.
spent like half this conversation talking about how the pizza is fucking garbage, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
but no,
dear.
because it's almost like you soak it in and you picture yourself there, and it's despite.
bandwagoner.
No, you like because,
Doctor's a
but you love
bandwagoner.
despite. No, it's because I had to sit with the pain of my childhood and think. I had to really breathe it in and say, I can say all these bad things about it, but deep down in my heart, I know that the pizza was the best. And that could be flawed, and that might not be
Yes.
where I want to, what I want to make opinions on. But that's what this tier list means to me.
Okay. I want to call out what Matt put here in the chat because he's right. He said Lunchables was more of a flex than anything. He's right.
It's
didn't
like
really enjoy
my
it.
parents don't care about my nutrition.
But it like you were cool if you had the Lunchables. Like that was the cool lunch to
Mhm.
have.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah.
you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
you roll up to
It's
school
awful.
with a peanut butter and jelly and a
It's
sandwich
like
bag.
imagine having your
Oh.
parents actually prepare
Embarrassing.
a healthy meal for you. No, we got
Lame.
our
Couldn't
our
be
plastic
more-
garbage.
They took an
Take
Uncrustable
that.
out of the freezer and threw it
Middle
in my
school
bag and said
politics.
it'll be good by lunch.
Oh, Uncrustables. Oh, those are disgusting.
Dude, are you? Oh, so good.
Dude, Uncrustables were
See,
like
that's something I did have.
Oh, I love it, Uncrustable.
What do you? how do you
You can deep fry Uncrustables too. I found a restaurant
No
that does
way.
them. Yeah, it's like a deep fried grilled, like peanut butter and jelly. It's kind of the most American thing that I could imagine, and it makes me so happy.
That's what I was about to say. It just sounds like the most American food I can
Sounds-
imagine.
Also, I gotta ask, do any of you have like strong negative feelings towards the people that refuse to eat pizza crust as an adult?
Yes, yes.
I'm like, you are a fucking grown man. Eat the pizza crust, you little baby.
What if I don't like it?
You're
As someone who eats all of it.
I would think less of you as a person. If you were something I highly respected, and I saw
do
you
now think less
leaving
of you
the
as a
pizza crust behind, I'd be like, I should find a different role model.
So Paul, I'll agree with you.
This
if
ain't
it's good
it.
pizza.
I didn't know everybody.
It's
Okay,
good
that's
pizza.
that's fair. If we're talking like garbage Domino's or pizza or whatever, then like sure, I'll give you a pass.
Yeah, I think so.
But if you're eating like actually good pizza and you're just like, nah.
Yeah. Crust is the crucial difference for me between a good pizza
Yeah,
restaurant.
crust is basically what makes a pizza good
Yeah.
or not.
100%.
Here's
When
what I'll say
I'm-
is that Tim.
When I'm looking for a place that I want to get pizza in a new town or something like that, I will carefully look at the pictures on Google Map to see if the crust looks good, because that is the big difference. You know, cheese, tomato sauce. You know, you're not going to use good ingredients if your crust is boring.
Yeah, these guys aren't squishing Roma tomatoes on here. Let's be serious.
I think the crust is overrated, but I still enjoy it.
Here's
For all
what I'll
those-
say. I think as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate the crust more, where now like I will actively choose pieces that have a bigger chunk of crust because I think the crust is the best part.
When was your crust awakening, you think?
Crust awakening.
Crust awakening.
Crust
I-
Tiffany.
Did you like go to a specific restaurant where it's like, you know, I'd go down to New Haven where, you know, pizza's real and I'd be like, oh, you know
Yeah,
what? I do
that's
kind of
true.
like the little charred crunch kind of. It's not just like a chewy dough and I'm like, this is what it's supposed to be.
It wasn't even that. I feel like it was like, I don't know, sometime when I was like between like 16, like probably 15, 16, and 18, somewhere in that range.
That's when
You
I
really
started
started to mature.
That's right.
I don't like the.
I
I
just
like the
made
crust
these
of both,
pizzas. Hang on, I'm gonna post pictures in the chat. I just made these pizzas last weekend. If they will actually load.
So for the while he's doing that, for the Connecticut people here, do you guys know that there's a new London style of pizza?
I did not.
Yep.
A new what?
There's New Haven, so everyone knows New Haven style. But there's
Right.
also a new London style pizza.
Gotcha.
There's also
What?
New York pizza.
It's
I
like
thought it was
it's
gonna be
Greek.
original.
It's basically Greek style.
Okay,
It's like a variant of Greek.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If you want to grow up, you could come to New York and get pizza.
I was
here.
gonna say, well, apparently it hasn't
Dude.
caught on because I've never heard of it.
New York pizza is ass compared to New Haven. Just saying.
What
That's
what
pretty good.
planet are you on?
I could ask
Matt,
you.
Matt.
Look, I think as there are people from all these states here, I think we can just agree that New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey combined have like easily the best pizza
Easily.
in the country.
Yes.
That's right.
Like just
Yes.
as a region.
Well, we've got all the Italians.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Water.
You covered those three states though, so like yeah, of course.
And it's really tough because deep dish isn't even pizza, and I think we can all stand.
Okay, hot take. I kind of like deep
pizza.
dish. It's not
I
my
kinda like
favorite.
Oh,
but,
deep
like,
dish is
it's pretty
delicious. It's
good.
not pizza,
Yes.
but it's delicious.
Yeah,
True.
okay, I'm fine.
I will agree with that.
I'm fine with that in classification.
Pizza soup.
Pizza soup.
It's a lasagna.
Because like a nice like Sicilian style pizza, like with the cheese.
I do love Sicilian.
Yeah, like that's some good stuff right there. But then you get deep dish, and you're talking about probably 2 inches deep of just soup. It's delicious. I love it so much. Thank you so much. But however, don't come in here saying me that's a pie. No.
It's not a pizza pie.
And that's when Mario's going, Mamma Mia.
Wait, Chodes, have you been to all the different New Haven pizza places? By chance? Like have you been?
I've definitely taken him to Modern.
Okay, I feel like Modern's bottom two
Oh.
for me of the four.
Josh, we've been to Modern.
Yep,
Okay.
yeah.
Wait,
Oh.
have you guys been to Zupardi's in West Haven?
Zapardi's is so fucking
It's
good.
so good. It's so underrated.
good.
Ryan,
Yeah.
have you been to Area 4 in Kendall? It's actually also really, really good.
Yeah, but that's not a pizza place, right?
Yeah, it is.
Sorry,
Area-
I'm thinking the arcade.
No, it is the arcade. They also sell really, really fucking good pizza.
Dude, Paul, I'm so glad you know about Zapardi's. That's my pick for like the best New Haven pizza. I think
Sally's is the best.
yeah, Sally's is the best.
Sally's
Okay,
is the
good.
best.
I haven't been to Sally's that often. I've only been like a couple times.
Sally's is the best, then Pepe's.
You think Pepe's beats out Modern?
Yeah, I
That's
think
probably
so.
an acceptable take. What's the fourth one?
Bar.
Yeah. Bar has one thing that it really wins it, and that's mashed potato and bacon.
Which
God, I
is
love the
excellent.
pizza.
It's so
Mhm.
good.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, but Sally's
so
has
good.
that like their potato pizza is pretty good. Ooh.
It's not as good.
Yeah, it probably isn't.
I
You're probably
haven't
right.
had Sally's potatoes, so I don't know.
Oh.
Wait, so
Oh, I'm not.
we
familiar.
need to. Yeah.
Yeah, I
feel
mean,
like-
the potato pizza I made that I just posted is basically a rip-off of the Sally's one. That with like a
Mhm.
different
Yep.
sauce.
Yeah, yeah.
good,
That
yeah.
nicely thin slash.
Yeah, I make like a garlic cream sauce for like my white pizzas.
Oh, yeah.
This will have to be
That's what I do, too.
the next event a New Haven pizza walk.
Yeah, just all about food.
I'll have to watch from afar, like
Honestly-
looking through his window.
We'll ship. Well, I was gonna say we each get a slice and we ship it to Paul, and then when it comes in the mail, we'll do a review.
Josh,
It's just one of those like
My favorite.
cardboard FedEx boxes with the peel adhesive, and you just stick a slice in.
Dude, it'd be so funny. Just throw it in the air fryer, dude. You'll be good.
my favorite,
Overnight this.
my favorite pizza is there's a place in Freehold, which is Central Jersey, like near where I grew up, called Federici's, and it's this like really, really thin crust pizza. It's almost like bar pizza, but it's just like so crispy thin and so fucking good. And like every kind of pizza you get for it is just like unbelievable. I don't even know what to compare it to because it's just like a league of its own, but it's like it's just a thin crust pizza. It's similar, Josh, to like how modern was, but it's more just like small round pies, and
Sure.
it's so good.
Oh
All
yeah,
right.
this is definitely the topic of it. But yeah, that's good.
I think we need to wrap it up here. But the last question I want to ask is who, since we're talking about pizzas, does everyone bend when they hold the slice? Do you fold?
I fold.
It depends on
Fold.
the pizza.
Gotta fold.
Yeah, you need to like automatically determine the structural integrity of the slice you're holding.
A good
I-
New Haven slice, you should not have to.
Yeah,
True.
I'm with Kevin. If you shouldn't have to fold it if it's a good slice.
Now, New York style, you're gonna have to fold it.
Depends.
It's a bit more demanding on.
Well, it's also the size of the
The
slice.
size, yeah, the size matters.
I think I do a fold just naturally. It's just my instinct of almost any slice. Not a full fold. I don't fold it in half. I do like a
I was gonna
slight
say, yeah,
bend.
you're-
I don't like
you're
a, like a U.
Corn. Yeah, no, I definitely
Like a
got
U.
a little circle, but I'm not about this like pizza sandwich. Like,
No.
I feel like you're just missing out if you're just putting the flat bread up against both sides of your mouth.
Making
Like,
it a calzone.
yeah, come on now. That's not what I ordered.
Calzones are a
Raise your hand when
no-go.
you want to
Bite from the crust first, though.
Calzones are a no-go.
So
It's,
pizza is a toast.
Calzones
That's
slap.
the primate style.
Eat the banana halfway down.
Did Rishi say calzones are a no-go?
I don't like calzones.
Shut up. Go back to 1940 or whatever you're from.
I thought he was gonna say go back to Russia.
Go back to Russia. All right. I think we covered everything I wanted to cover.
Final thought before
Final
we go.
thoughts, closing statements.
It's not a question. It's not a statement. I guess it's neither. But
The sponsor.
what'd you say?
The sponsor.
And
this is-
each-
Sponsor of today's video.
This is thank you to our
Raid,
biggest
thanks to
sponsor.
Raid Shadow Legends.
No, I have nothing. I'm just still remembering my dear friend James Park.
James
I
the
miss him.
Giant Peach Productions.
James and the Giant Peach Productions. Dylan being the Giant Peach, but
Thanks for
Just-
making that obvious.
I miss
Thanks
my
for pointing
boys.
that out.
this one's for James.